This is it. The show you need to watch. Because this is where the truth resides. I can't even... Shut up. Crowd. Shut up, crowd. What's up, chat? We're not that late, are we? Yeah, we are. As always, 20 minutes. Fuck. Demonetized. Asa, hi. Hargeet, hi. Asante, hi. I forgot how to do it. What's up, everyone in chat? What's up, 120,000 people watching us live. Everyone listening to us on Spotify, Google, and shit. We're about to get lit. It's going to be fun and games. Thank you so much. That was a shit intro. Let me do that again. Asa, how are you?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I think that was a little bit over enthusiastic on the fan cheering, but it's close to what we'd get if YouTube was like live. If we could hear the people's back, then I think that's what they sounded like in their homes. Thanks for coming here cheering us on.
Absolutely. Thank you for the fake cheers and the real cheers. And why did Blake Carr get timed out? He's a nice guy. Chat, please be civil. It's going to be a great show. We have incredible returning guests. We got the lovely Hargeet up in here. Get down.
Yo.
What you saying, bro? You have reached some milestones in your life.
Yes, finally got the stupid book done. Which is out there now.
Stupid book. I just paid like 100 quid for it,
bro. So yeah, if anybody wants to buy it, you can see the URL up there next to me. It's shop.chani.us. Go there. You can buy just the book, or you can get a signed copy if you want in a bundle. So enjoy. Hopefully some people will buy it. But yeah, that's finally done. I can probably go back to gaming. Fun to do. I haven't played anything for months. I've just been pouring all my time in that. And all of you, by the way, are mentioned in the book. Just an FYI. So Asa, Gaz, and Asante, you're all in there.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. I got Asante. I don't know if it'll show up though. Let me turn off the background.
It does not show up.
Let's see. I have Asante there. Yeah, let's see if it'll.
Background is absolutely fine. Why do you have that janky green screen up in there?
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, see all those people
in this book,
right? All like them and all those guys. You're all in there. Yeah.
Am I the sexy one in there? I better be in there.
Yeah, and you guys are in there.
Shit. Excellent, sir.
Yes.
Right. Tell the people what is this book about?
Well, let's see. I can just give you the caption in the back. Let me turn off the background. Let's see if that works. Can you read that, guys?
65 million years ago, a meteor crashed on the Earth, causing Xbox to lose its market share. Extinction event that wiped out the dominant dinosaur species. But what if that didn't happen? We'd get another Turok and Dino Crisis 4, lad. That's what would happen. Interesting. I didn't even know. I didn't even look into it. But hold on, I'm intrigued because your background and the art for it is a spaceship. So unless dinosaurs discover FTL travel, I am going to find this is going to be interesting. No spoilers, bro.
Perhaps they do. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything. I
better be a sick character in that book. I better be like the fucking Don in that book. Just like, I bet Colin Moriarty better be in that book and then he gets shat on by me.
No. I stayed away from any hate. I'm not doing that.
What? A perfect opportunity to
shout out to all the Xbox community.
Oh, man. Well done. And
I gotta say, Hargeet, I like your headshots on the Amazon page. Very, very dapper, sir. Very good. I like that. That's
really. I haven't even seen this.
It's good.
I'll put it in. Let's see.
Shit!
Get the author page.
Oh shit! I need to see the picture of Hargeet looking mad.
Man,
It's gonna be mad. But last but certainly not least, it took a while. This man is a busy man, although he also has a show on the same day. So I do feel a little bit guilty bringing him on for a bloody 8-hour podcasting slot. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Asante. Yeah! What's up, man? Welcome home. This is it. Your real place. voice, bro.
Every time I hear this, like I want to go, what's the difference between me and you? Good. It's just real good, real good. I'm happy to be here, brother. I love the show. I always watch the show. It's hard to come out here sometimes, but I'm here. Let's do this. This is gonna be great.
I'm always glad when you're here, man. It's always going to be always a good conversation, and we have a lot to talk about today. We definitely do. Where are my notes on my timestamps? Shit! I'm so badly organized. Welcome to my life. It's time to talk about games, as Asa looks very busy and he's going to hate me for calling upon him to talk. You look like you're multitasking like a mother flipper. What are you actually doing?
I'm trying to bring... It's too small. It's not going to show, Hargeet. You sent the link for it. I'll pop it up there. But it's tiny. It's not.
I see.
Yeah. And what have I been playing? I've been playing loads and loads of stuff. Too many to relay off, but the main one that I mentioned is Pyre, which is a bit unusual. So I went back in time. I saw a thread on Twitter of people talking about Hades 2 and how much they love it and how much they love Supergiant. And I saw one reply on there, someone saying, yeah, Hades is brilliant, but Pyre was their real best game. It's really underrated and all the rest of it. And that was enough for me. I was like, right, I'm playing this Pyre immediately because I've never played it. So I put quite a bit of time in that, and it's unusual. I'm kind of in love with it at the moment, but I also don't think the core of what it does works. So it's got Supergiant's like storytelling and art and style, but the gameplay is like a mini esport. It's like a really weird blend that doesn't entirely fit. So I'm still recommending it for now, but it is slightly strange.
I do remember that game too. I do remember it. It came and went, and it didn't really hit that big. But I do recall when it was big. It does have their signature art style, but because it was very multiplayer, seemingly multiplayer-esque, I think that may kind of have left it. Yeah, it's worth revisiting. It looks great.
It's a studio's got mad pedigree. So I wonder how many people who don't look at their older games and the strength of like games like Hades would have gone back to play Pyre. Obviously Ace is one of them, but yeah, you never know, man. And it goes to show there's so many undiscovered gems. There's all discoveries, the half the thing to become the next zeitgeist, like with what's it called, Vampire Survivors. That went undiscovered for a pretty decent amount of time.
To be fair, Pyre doesn't have the thirsty gods, so maybe that's why it didn't get anywhere. They all have their clothes on in this one, so it is what it is.
Shit, yeah, that's true. Huggy, has your thumb recovered? Are you playing games now?
My thumb is back to normal, thankfully.
Yeah.
That was annoying too. Right, so then I was doing the book, and I have still not played anything, god dang it, but I will kick off, I think, Pal World, but I'm curious what the heck is coming on Monday, because apparently they're going to be at the ID at Xbox Showcase, right? So I don't know what they're planning to tell us, right? So if there's something cool coming, maybe I should wait, but then again, I could just keep expanding my levels and get ready for the taking over. I think it's like 4 towers or something like that to finish that game, right? And I think I've taken down 1, maybe something like that. So I don't know. I just haven't played it in a long time, so I want to go back and finish that first, and then go to the next set of games. I have so many to get, games to play. So much has come out, including Horizon Forbidden West, which on PC, which I have now, and I'm looking forward to playing. I love the first one. I'm hoping I'll like the second one.
Amazing. It looks like visually, wow, it is amazing on PC. Yes.
So
but I saw on the internet, basically someone was complaining about that. I don't know who it was, that we are in a gaming rut at the moment, and I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Like we've got mad games at the moment. In terms of news, fair enough, but in terms of games, we've got mad games right now. Like,
well, see, guys, you have to understand, if your outlook is that there's only one platform in the world, and that platform it starts with a P and ends with an N,
there we go.
Then you might consider that the world is just not that good, because
as my brother John Wolf says. As John Wolf says, if you're a missionary gamer, then you're just stuck on that platform. Then unfortunately,
if you're a PlayStation only fan.
Oh man, Wow, that's even worse. Ugh.
Well, they've got quite a few games to play.
Yeah, they do.
Which is the
Absolutely.
Do they?
highlight of the
They're
show.
third-party games. They're not those sad dad walking simulators. And since that's all they want, I mean, now this is a great story, right? Now they even patented the ability for you to just not even bother playing the game. Just throw it in, hit auto mode, and it'll just let you watch the game.
I call that the Kojima mode. Turn everything into a 5-hour cutscene.
Kojima mode. That's actually a sick name for that. But you know what? I'm going to get some hate for that. But that mode, I would actually find it useful once I've completed the game. Once I've completed the game, a very specific use is to turn off the UI and then and then record, like cinematic shots.
Yeah.
But that's the only real reason I would use it.
You'd have to turn off achievements or trophies, right? If you're going to do something like that, nullify all trophies. You can't earn something if you're not actually playing. Like that's just ridiculous.
I mean, but even from PlayStation's perspective, they would definitely turn that off because remember, when you're playing their games and you're getting trophies and achievements and trophies, you're earning credit in their stars program. If you just auto AFK the thing, you're just getting a bunch of credit that they have to honor that you didn't earn. There's no way they're going to let you do that. Absolutely not. So they'll probably turn that off.
Yeah, that's true. In order to actually get proper, not even proper, but basic customer support. Level 4. But what is it? Like this feature that you're talking about, you turn it on and the game just basically plays for itself?
We don't have the details, but the title is very apt. Autoplay.
Okay, it could be an accessibility feature for disabled people.
Sure, yeah.
But then they have the controllers and stuff. I don't know. I would only use it for filming stuff like cinematic, because games don't have enough those features. That's why I'm kind of like waiting till I finally get that PC because I want to get that fluidity to record and mods to place cameras everywhere and just because gaming is art, man. I think gaming is art, so that kind of feature is pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Asante, what have you been playing, bro?
Oh well, I'm grazing, as it were. So I have call me the grazer. That's what I do. But actually, 2 games that I've been going back and forth on this week. First, Tales of Kenzera, Zao. I'm nothing if not on brand. My African brother decided to put forth a game which I was hoping was good, and it is damn good. I'm really enjoying it. A lot of fables that I recall from my own tutelage and heritage and stuff. So I'm really enjoying about halfway in. It's a fun game, Metroidvania style that I really enjoy. So and I just I love the colors and the diversity of biomes and all of that. And then when I feel like being a masochist and getting my head beaten in a few times, I put on No Rest for the Wicked and they beat on me and they teabag me and they do it in beautiful style. So that's also a game I've been playing. It is beautiful, like really, really beautiful. No Rest for the Wicked. It's in early access, so there are still some elements that are still needing to be worked out. The parry system is garbage. It is no not to be used right now. I just like auto roll and get out of the way. But every person, every single antagonist can beat on you in this game if you're not careful. So while you're playing through the game, it is beautiful, like really beautiful. Every single, if the best way I can describe it is if you've played Ori, like the last Ori, you know how the elements crescendo to a very, very powerful point at the end where everything is moving and the world is alive, and that's literally where No Rest for the Wicked starts. Like there is no still scene. Everything is just there's rain and it's just amazing. You could GIF it and just sit there and just look at it. That's
my kind of game, bro.
It's epic visuals. It still needs a little bit of fine tuning as far as maybe some optimization from a PC standpoint, as well as maybe like tweaking some gameplay elements and whatnot. But they have a hit on their hands. Like I was talking to Paris Lily. That game is definitely Game of the Year contender once it comes out, like fully comes out. It is
Is that fully
story is
out?
amazing. Initially they said 2024, right? I think it was first shown off on an Xbox stage, and it is earmarked to be on Xbox. It'll be everywhere, I suspect. But then they put it on early access on PC, on Steam right now. And now if you look around, it just says it's on Steam. I don't think there's a definitive date, maybe of it coming to the consoles proper, but they did say 2024, and that has not been changed. So I'm imagining somewhat this year at some point. The game is great. Like I think the whole story is there. They're just kind of tweaking things and fine tuning things. Even on PC right now, the upscaler, the DLSS upscaler, you go there and it says coming soon. You know, it's still mid production. So yeah, but I've really been enjoying it. It is a beautiful game. I, unlike you guys, do not necessarily enjoy getting my head beat in constantly by games. I've seen your streams, sir. You're a better man than me. But this game is beautiful enough, and the story is great enough that no matter how much I get my head bashed, then I go back for more. So I'm really enjoying it.
Oh shit! That sounds like my kind of game as well. We've got a lot of these like indie type of games that are really now calling me. And I'm grazing right now as well, contrary to my declarations that I wouldn't do that, but it's just unavoidable. Thank you, freaking quick resume. I blame you for that. But I've been playing all sorts. I've been taking my time. I think I'm going to 100% Cyberpunk. It's just such a good world to be in. I'm actually really enjoying it. Kind of salty that I don't have a 4090 to play it with a realistic realism mod.
You need to turn on the path trace. It will blow your wig back, sir. It's amazing. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, are you talking Phantom Liberty or just Phantom the OG? Oh. Yeah. Okay. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, really Phantom Liberty is like it's just beautiful, man. Like even on the Series X, man, I'm just like, I played it on my PC with ray tracing when it came out, and it was really nice. All the performance wasn't great, but I've seen Ace's stream, his freaking insane quality stream with. I've never seen streams with the HDR on until Asa did them. I don't know how you do them, or I don't even care to learn. But I've seen that game; it just looks insane. And obviously, been streaming here and there with Sekiro. You can see on my channel where I get absolutely shat on. Blake Carter says leaving us one stream of Sekiro a week. Trying to do that at least twice a week, but this week was mad for me. So it's like crazy to get into games. But there are a few that are definitely up my alley. And Tales of Kenzera is the one I might actually jump on next, because I've got Prince of Persia downloaded, but Prince of Persia is apparently a long game, bro. And it's time. These days, time is such a freaking commodity, bro.
So if you have both of them downloaded and you're sure which one to do, I would do Tales of Kenzera first. But I was talking to Everborn this morning on the show. He played Prince of Persia first, and I won't disagree with him on that. He's saying that Prince of Persia has just a bit more gameplay elements better than Tales of Kenzera does, because like the traversal is far tighter on Prince of Persia, but obviously budgetary differences, like a AAA studio in UB versus a Surgeon Studio who just started, their first game. But it seems that what it lacks, Zhao does in those gameplay elements, it makes up for in the story element. So I would say play Tales of Kenzera first. It's actually shorter as well, and then you can play. That's what
Rand was saying. It's shorter.
Yeah, it's shorter. Then you can play your Prince of Persia, and you'll still get some familiarity there. But it's different enough that you can play both one after the other. It's both of them really good games. I actually played it backwards myself. I finished Prince and then played Tales.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go the other way, like you suggested. I'm going to go Tales first, then I'm going to do Prince. And Tales of Kenzera deserves its flowers. It's a one-man dev.
Well, it's not one man. The team is, I think it's about like 10, 15 people, but he is the creative force. It's his story. Oh, okay. It's his father's. It's a story that he built with his father, and he's actually a voice actor in it. But it's a good. I think it was like 10, 15 people. I'll check, but it's a good sized team, Surgeon Studio. So
one of the things we talked about, I think me and Hargeet talked about, is representation in games and what meaningful
representation games means. And one of the things we actually cited, this was years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think, I don't know if you recall, Hargeet, like, we said, like, you remember, right? Like, say, like, stories from Africa, like, actual, like, representation, because there's so much we don't know, like, in terms of, like, empowering developers from all sorts, all over the world is a big place, and opening gaming up to the to the world, and game development up to the world. And Tales of Kenzera seems like exactly the kind of game we were talking about a couple of years ago. It's telling a very unique story, and you've getting African folklore and that kind of stuff. And you mentioned it, Asante, my Ghanaian brother, not Nigerian, I got it wrong. I said it to a very famous music producer yesterday, or day before yesterday. I met him, and he was a really cool guy. And he goes, yeah, my name is something Asante. I forgot his first name now. And he, I won't say it's actually, even if I knew, because I'll get in trouble. But he was like, oh yeah, you're so Nigerian. He goes, no. I was like, but Asante's Nigerian. No, you're freaking Ghanaian. I got so embarrassing.
And even, and the funny thing is, even the character that people keep thinking I am in Halo, he also is from Ghana. So there you go. And so is Idris Elba. So there you go.
Oh, Idris Elba's Ghanaian?
Yes, he's from Ghanaian parents.
Oh, shit. There's bare Ghanaians in London.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of Ghanaians. Like, I have family in the UK. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of Ghanaians in the UK.
I was telling Asante in chat at uni, we had a little rap battle, and a Ghanaian brother beat the shit out of me, bruv. In fact,
your first mistake was getting a rap battle with a Ghanaian. What you doing, John? What you doing?
Jason, if you're watching this, bruv, I actually use your line in one of my Source videos.
There you go.
With no label. Oh shit, recycled. If he finds out, he'll kill me. But yeah, Tales of Kenzera, like this. Like, you tell me, like, because you mentioned at the start of the show, like, the story was really refreshing. It reminded you of your childhood.
Yes.
So when you said that, I was like, okay, so this is a game that they're actually telling story, like, that we may not have heard of. How well do you think, and for the people that don't know, what is it that this game tackles?
Basically, the story basically is the story of the lead of Surgeon Studios, Abubakar Salim. For those who've played games around, he is the voice of Bayek of Siwa. So if you've played Assassin's Creed Origins, the voice of Bayek is the leader of Surgeon Studios. He's also an actor that plays in I was about to say Dances with Wolves. Raised by Wolves. Yeah, you see my gray beard showing. And he'll also be in I think he'll also be in the latest House of the Dragon this year. So the man is out there. He's making his moves, and he is a gamer, lifelong gamer, and he wanted to make a game that basically celebrates his father. His father passed some years ago, and his father, he credits his father as introducing him to gaming. So he built this game. Well, him and his team, he created a team, and they built this game that kind of honors his father's memory. And through it, he's telling the story of the Bantu people, which are Kenyan folklore. But it's not just Kenyan folklore. Like, if you see the game, and I see Asa, you put it on the screen there. If you see the game, it has a lot of energy from various different African cultures, including Asante, which is my tribe, and many others. Like, you can just tell that they borrowed from many different places, and as such, the people. There was a movie, a show that people were that made this famous. If you heard of Anansi stories, the Anansi boys, that's all Ghanaian folklore, and a lot of that is built into this game as well. So, like, as they're playing the game, and you're listening to the god of death, Kalunga, talk to him in his ear. A lot of the stories that they're telling are stories that I've heard when I was a kid, and cultural touchstones within our. It's super interesting. I have been advocating for stuff like this for years. Yeah. So I'm like totally biased, super happy that at least someone gets to tell a story, somebody gets to tell it from our perspective, from a perspective that you, even as a gamer, that you may not have heard before. I loved playing GTA, but eventually it got tiring because I want to see GTA in someplace else, right? And these are the voices that are being allowed to be told, and hopefully more and more, get a chance to shine. So yeah, to me, I think this is great. I hope he gets all the awards, and this spurs on a new generation where the bean counters go, Racism? What? It's money. Where's my Pakistani GTA? Come on now, give me something. Like I want all
Look,
that.
it's on those countries to get in, and I think that's what needs to happen. Like it's I don't want just white people to make that happen, but this is why for me God of War is boring. About. Okay, it's like, okay, you're gonna take a Greek god and mix it with a Norse god, and I'm bored. Like, why can't we have this? There's so many mythologies we just totally ignore. The vast majority of the human race does not live in Europe. That's all we get in Europe.
This game came under fire, didn't it?
Yes, but the problem though, the reason why, while I wholeheartedly, you get no disagreement from me. But if you really look into it, the reason why this game exists is that the great Abu Bakr Salim played the game in the white man's world, took some of that money, and then created this game. There is still always the gatekeeper. That is because if he wasn't in GTA, if he wasn't if he wasn't on Ubisoft's game, if he wasn't making these movies for the Western world, he might not have the opportunity to do what he's doing, right? Mm-hmm. So he's taken the gatekeeper's money and now is making something, which is great. Well, but unfortunately, not everybody can do that.
In that language, you're assuming there's a gatekeeper, and that is my problem. It's like, look, there's nothing stopping any of the other countries. They're doing it, by the way. You have Tencent. Tencent's a major publisher, right? Chinese. China is the biggest economy, whether we want to accept it or not. Sure. They are.
Sure,
right?
It is.
And so it's on them to bring content. And one of the games that was in that showcase was Black Myth Wukong, right? And that game looks stunning. It looks great.
Amazing. Yes,
right?
It does.
Independent developer in China, right? Putting that game out. This is what needs to happen more. I say that these countries they need to spend something to make that happen, right? So if you're Singapore, for instance, and you say, no, we want to get in gaming, they did. And they worked with Ubisoft, right? To say, hey, we're going to put a game out.
And they hitched themselves to the wrong wagon, but it's a whole different conversation.
I know, but they put together a bigger studio to do that, right? I think India should do this. There's zero reason they shouldn't, right? They have the talent. There are a lot of Indians making games. Whether you know that or not, there are a lot of Indians making games. They just make other people's games. They should make their own games. Right, and there's no reason they can't be a publisher from India. It just needs to happen. There are billionaires galore in India. It's bullshit that they just don't do it. They just don't do it. They should just do it. They should create the stupid thing and put it together and put games out there. It's up to them to do it. I urge them. I don't want this white man savior bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm sorry. The rest of the world needs to wake up and do this. We need more of these kind of games. And we can't have white people go and do this. It needs to be them pushing to do it themselves. Japan didn't come to white America and say, can we make games, please? No, they just did it. They just did it.
Kind of created the game market. The Americans
exactly.
Borrowed.
There's no reason for this. We have to. I can't like deal with this whole like, oh, I have to ask the white man thing. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
It's just too much the case, though.
We got to do it ourselves. We got to push ourselves. It's got to happen.
So you're saying it's
we have to call ourselves out for not doing it.
The host nation to get into gaming, but see, I don't think
I disagree with.
The majority platforms are Nintendo and the freaking PlayStation. They're in Japan. We need to make this happen. Like I'm sick
just
of it.
A little bit of disagreement with it. And it's not the main idea of they should, but a lot of those countries are not on that level, either mentally or financially or the corruption.
No, they just don't do it.
There's more than just that, right?
Well, what do you mean?
Seriously, the devil is in the details.
If they can't do it, and you're saying India has the resources, why are they not doing it? Of course they have the
resources. They're billionaires over there.
So then why are they not doing it? What's your answer to that?
They don't. That's it.
I mean, but
they
why?
Don't.
No, it's not that simple.
That's literally it, guys. They just don't.
They just don't.
It takes guts to go do things.
There has to be a reason for it. They're
it.
just not just sat there like, no.
That's literally it.
They don't care about it. They don't give a shit. Or what is it?
So Hargeet, I would advocate that you do a little bit of digging there, because I have seen like there's a development studio in Cameroon that just released the game not too long ago. They're a developer. I keep you know me. I keep my ears to the streets on these things because that's what awesome. I want. It's not that easy to get to where we need them to go for reasons. Now the devil is in those details, and it's not as simple as we don't feel like. It's not that simple. I would ask you
I'm with
to dig
Asante
into it
there,
a
bro.
little bit.
Like, it's like you can't just like, oh, they're just not doing it. There are multiple reasons. It's a multifaceted
Okay, tell me what
issue. It's
those
a
reasons are.
cultural thing. It's like a lot. Well, and one of it's funny because we're looking at Tales of Kenzera, and it's a small outfit. And
Right.
I was actually going to have a positive spin on this, where I was going to suggest that we're going to see more of this game, more of this.
And by the
type
way,
of
the
stuff.
whole dev studio is in the UK, right? They're not in any African country.
not in Africa.
They are using their Western earned cash in the Western world to create an African game. That may be the only way around it, because where they are, I will say, like I was talking to the brother Loke 7, he's in
Africa.
I forget the name. Oh, geez. What country? It's the tip of my tongue. Anyway, like
What's it start
he's
with?
treated like a second-class citizen there. He can barely buy games there, let alone say I'm going to start a dev. He can't, because Xbox, PlayStation, they do not allow him to basically set up an account there in his country. He has to fudge it. Like that's the way it is for lots of countries. Like, when I went to Ghana last year, like I couldn't roll my PlayStation account, even though there's a PlayStation right there. Right? You could only play as a guest because you can't log into their network in that country. Right? There's a lot of roadblocks in the
That
path
doesn't
to
mean
get
that
to
Nigeria couldn't do something. That doesn't mean South Africa couldn't do something. That doesn't mean Egypt couldn't do something. I mean, there's plenty of
All I'm
I
saying
hear
to you,
all the
sir,
excuses. India is the
is
fifth
there
largest
are-
economy in the world. India is the fifth largest
Sure.
economy in the world. Okay,
Why they not doing it,
I'm done
bro?
with excuses. I'm done with
But
excuses.
still,
But what-
India is the fifth largest economy in the world. But still, there are people who live on the streets, and there is no middle class.
Rich and poor divide is massive.
Have you been to
It's
California?
insane.
Have you been to California? How many people live on the streets? Like, come on.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not
but
the
bro,
same,
you're comparing India's poverty to California and America. They're not comparable.
Well, in some ways they are. It's pretty bad over here. Maybe you haven't paid attention. Things have gotten pretty disgusting over here.
I know that
Which is true. Which is true.
especially
Yes.
in San Fran.
Yeah.
It's
but,
true. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a deep issue.
And the concentrated power you're describing, it may be a very powerful economy, but the concentrated power is for the very tippy top, and everybody else
Exactly.
is like making $60 a month living, right? And that's just the way it is there. It's
But the
very
largest-
hard for grassroots efforts.
The largest
to happen
economic
in that
powerhouse
kind of world.
is in development. It's in software development. And guess what area you need for making games? Software development. How many
Yeah,
stories does India have? Tons of stories.
How many
Right?
how many normal middle class people in India can have a computer in their home? That's not
A lot.
easy.
Because the middle class
Actually,
is
a lot.
pretty big now. It's probably bigger than the US, right?
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
The
Sure.
middle class
Okay.
in
it's
India
1.4 billion, 1.3 billion.
growing.
Indians are
people,
taking
right?
over
Yes, there's
London,
poverty,
bro.
but there's a
True.
lot of
Well,
Very
but remember, they're taking over London. They're taking over the Canada. They're taking over America because they had to come here to earn that, right? You're telling
No,
you're
they do
saying
pretty well over
grassroots
there,
effort.
too.
Actually,
They do pretty well over there.
India's
Please,
doing
please, yes.
very well as an economy,
Yes.
and
Yeah, they're doing pretty well over
England
there.
is vying for some support from India, like desperately. There's a automotive industry, like they're making a new plant here, and Rishi Sunak, who's also Indian.
So
was
if,
just
if
like,
that's
yes.
the case, then I'm
And
with
the
you,
power structure is
Hargeet,
changing.
right? If that internally has changed, then I'm with you on that.
Yes.
I'm just saying, in my travels, even as of late, not every place is like that. Even
I
in
agree.
Places where
I agree.
economies are massive, it's concentrated power, and then everybody else just got to deal with themselves, which is difficult, specifically in African countries. It's just difficult to provide that diversity.
Chat is hilarious. We got mass produced as it literally did a South Park line where he goes, India took all our gerbs. Oh, I love the internet, bruv. This is gonna be a fun, fiery show. Shout out to the 4 absolute legends assembled tonight. This will be a legendary podcast. As Jones. Shout out to you, man. And yes, we've already begun. And this was for Asus. Shout out to Shabs, because the one white guy sitting there quietly, Kupo, let him have something. And I'm sorry, but white men and yellow and black men make great games. Let's leave it there. Leave it there. You're saying, and Brown too. Cooper.
No, because the stories that we tell have all been the same homogenized European stuff. That's what I'm annoyed by. And this is why I want more. I want more Tales of Kenzera. I want more of these things.
Yeah, but you
because
can't
there's so much
them,
more
bro.
out there.
Huggy, you're like that Indian auntie who straps you to a table and keeps feeding you samosas, brother. You're like, you fucking eat it, bastard. And they don't want to make it. They don't want to make it, bro. Like,
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Eat the samosa, bastard. Speaking of samosas, Asa, you're a pakora. What's your, that super chat was aimed at you. As a white man, I'm just. What do you think about all
Man,
this?
what are we doing
I
right
think
now?
as a,
What are you
as a
doing,
white
man?
guy, sometimes the best thing you can do is listen,
Does
right?
he have
And
to be
I'm
reduced
happy
to a white
hear his
guy?
perspective. So,
Can he not be a gamer with an opinion?
it
love
is really
you, sir.
difficult, right? I would love to see more games from massively, not just like selfishly, TV, games, all the rest of it feels like you've seen everything and done everything before because we do not have that diversity of backgrounds coming into games and things. And it's all well and good. You've got, obviously, there's loads of controversy around Sweet Baby and all the rest of it. And I'm on the fence on it because consultation is a route to get some authenticity, but it's not the best route. Yeah. But as you just had that in-depth discussion there, it is very, very difficult to bring a game to market for anyone that's not got a publisher backing them already. And it is, games are high risk. So like a simple reason, even if you're in a country that has the infrastructure, the capacity, the economy to do this, not that many people want to do this because it often ends up with you just losing hundreds of millions if you make a big game. So it's a difficult one to get from where we are to where we need to be. But
it's good. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. The high risk is one of the reasons why maybe a lot of people don't want to get into it as well. Other than
But you can do
just
it in games, right? Let me ask you this: is it high risk to put money into the stock market?
Yes, I guess.
Where are they putting their money?
You're adding new school thinking to old school ideas, right? They that is high risk. We know they know that, and as such, you put your eggs in where you can. A lot of the things you're describing here have basis in their own gatekeepers, as far as the money holders in these countries who don't believe that this new school method is a way forward. Right?
Yeah,
they don't have any belief.
I think it's changing though, because Saudi Arabia wanted to invest in this. Correct?
True.
What they should
Saudi's
be doing is saying
yes,
we can invest in other studios, but why not create some locally in Saudi Arabia? Do they have
there's a reason
in
for
Saudi
that,
Arabia?
bruv.
Why not? Right? That's
Saudis.
something they should do.
It's bare lazy,
Speak on it,
man.
guys.
I love my Saudi brothers, but they just bare spend money. Bro, my brother's in Saudi right now, and he's managing a really big project on construction, like huge project. And they've got a plan. Like Saudi has its own challenges, whereby they have a domestic plan whereby it's some, I forgot the name of it, but they have to hire a certain number of local people to get in on this. But Saudi's problem is it's weaker on its education internally, even though it has all these incentives. And so you're not getting that level of talent there. And that's the big reasons why that
But guys,
they're trying. They're trying
win
now
that
to
battle
change it.
unless you try. Exactly. You have to try, right? And I know Saudi has its challenges. Like my dad went there to build cities for them. I understand. They basically always hire outside because their internal talent sucks. I get that. But the only way to change that is to start making that something you have to deal with,
They're
right?
trying
UAE,
now,
UAE
and
can
in
do
Saudi
something,
Arabia,
right?
at
They
least
have
the
good
Saudis
talent.
are
They can
thinking
do
about
things.
that, right? They're at least investing, and they're at least have mentally traversed that
Exactly. I think
divide
that's what
where
needs to
they've
start
realized
happening.
it's worth it. Not these. A lot of these other countries are still very much in that old school mode, and they see games
Especially
as children.
Pakistan and India, bro.
You know,
Like the new generation, me and you, like Pakistani, well, Indian background, both of us actually, funnily enough. But our parents probably look at
Not so
gaming
much.
like, what the fuck?
That's
But a
right.
lot of the
That's right.
wealthier people are our generation or even younger, right? Because they're all tech guys, right?
And that's going to change.
They know
That's
what
gonna take
gaming
time.
is.
That's gonna
So
take time.
they just need to go do it, right? And again, if we don't call this out and say, "Oh, you should just wait and let somebody else deal with it," no, we should call it out. Like, hey, if you're a tech billionaire in India, why aren't you making games?
One thing
Why
I
aren't
will
you
say
making
for like even Asa, like what Asa said about it, even from a selfish gamer perspective, when you're tired of seeing the same regurgitation over and over and over again, we should all of us speak with one voice and say we want more, because it just gives us the content. right? That's what we're looking for, all of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Bro, absolutely. Especially in gaming, especially in Hollywood, but gaming, the stories that you can tell and what you can do because of gaming and interactivity, so much more you can do. This is why I wanted to know, Tales of Kenzera, from you, does it actually do those stories justice, and what are those stories?
I think it's pretty amazing. I think people should play it. Obviously they kind of do a little bit of the wink, nudge to what has come before them, a la Black Panther. So it speaks that energy as well. But they're playing the game and it's working. Hopefully more people get that chance.
I think especially gaming is fundamentally changing as well. It's getting broadening, it's getting wider, and I want to see more like countries like take it. Pakistan, take gaming as a country seriously, because I'm telling you right now, Pakistan is always like. Back home, it's always like become a doctor, bastard, become a accountant. This that mentality
right? Lawyer,
is ingrained in us.
Wow.
Lawyer, doctor. Bro, my dad wanted me to be a doctor, and I had to rebel. I got kicked out of school.
He rebelled by becoming a lawyer.
There's no range.
I know. Yeah, exactly. The fallback, the lawyer. All right, we'll accept the lawyer.
It's still there.
Yes,
bro. I'm telling you,
that is making it difficult to traverse that mental divide of maybe something we should.
It really
spend
is.
our
You go
mental
to
energy
Pakistan
on.
now.
Yes.
If someone says I want to make video games, the parents will fucking slap the shit
That's
out
right.
of them.
Yes, they'll treat you like it's 1991 and you've asked for a Nintendo. Like, what are we doing?
Bro, absolutely.
But what has
not there
changed,
yet.
though, Gaz, is that now software development or anything in IT is acceptable and good, right? So that has changed in India, right? So, and a lot of this is adjacent to that. So you can basically say, hey, I'm doing development work, right? And you happen to be making a game. Okay. Right.
I mean, our generation, our kids, when they start doing that, we'll be encouraging them to do it. Like, we understand it. But
bro,
there's still
the indoctrination has already started with my kids, man. I'm throwing controllers in their hands whenever possible. Like, this is what they're doing, Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, man. Like, shout out to Dr. Mo. Yeah, absolutely. It's there's a multifaceted point about it. But even Tales of Kenzera, a game that we are celebrating for its diversity and telling stories that's unique. But this got the ire of some people because of the Sweet Baby Inc. thing. Now, I don't know what, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't know what this game has done wrong. It's a game based on, but telling about the story of Africa. Is it really just the fact that it's a Sweet Baby Inc. association that people are pissed off?
It's got that SBI Scarlet Letter. That's what's going on. That's literally what's going on with it. That's what I mean. Please, folks in the chat, people who are out there, if I am wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I've been trying to dig deep and try to find what affront the game has had, but the fact that it's associated specifically with SBI seems to be what is the reason to grab the pitchforks and start fighting about it. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's what it is. What is the? I mean, but why do they need SBI even involved in the first place?
Because, and that's an interesting question. That is because, like we were talking about this a little bit ago. You're making your game. You're trying to be 4 quadrant. If you know what I'm saying. You're trying to adhere and find a way to reach everyone, even if it's not necessarily your culture. So it's not too obtuse for you. So you get other consultants and voices in the room to say, hey, this is what we're doing. Even in the context of Africa, because Africa is not a country. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is a continent that has many countries in it, kind of like America. Like America. It just so happens that in Africa they chose to speak different languages, while in America they choose think about a flavor of English.
Think about Europe, right? Europe has all sorts of different things going on in all different countries, and you think about North and South America, we have all sorts of different countries, right?
That's right.
Africa is a massive continent.
Massive. That's
right.
Yes.
Lots of countries, lots of ancient stuff. There's all sorts of things all over the place.
Yes, I always say it for those who haven't been here. America is a country of 50 countries that have chosen to speak certain flavors of English, and that changes which other country you go to, and even the mentalities change. So SBI is most likely used to make sure they adhere to all of them, right? He represents Bantu people from Kenya, but Kenya is one sliver of that continent, right? And he wanted to make it a more well-rounded view. Maybe you bring folks in to decide to analyze and review your content to see what they see. Or, hey, maybe our African culture, we don't want to necessarily offend, because like one of the first things I heard when we heard the game coming out, like one of the first things he does to try and get his father back is to reach out to Kalunga, the god of death, right? And the first idea in American Christian ethos is, oh, he's reaching out to the god of death, right? Not understanding that the African culture, in many African cultures, right, life and death is a cyclical thing, and those guardians who are part of that are guides, not antagonists, right? So if you're first time hearing it, you go, oh my God, like he's talking to the god of death. That sets certain people off. That might make certain Christian minded folks, bristle a little bit.
But I want them to have that reaction.
Yeah.
I don't want to change that.
But
see, the point isn't that you change that. The point isn't that you change that.
Everyone.
The point is,
I don't care about offending people with that. Like that's
the point is that you calibrate. The point is that you calibrate how the message is delivered, so that the person who's receiving it understands exactly what that is, rather than your wrong assumption.
That's true,
right?
Yeah,
that's what that is, right? The god of death is meant to be a guide and not necessarily the scary boogeyman that all the other cultures possibly tell you it is. So maybe there's some calibration of delivery to be able to make that point clearer to other cultures that may not understand it. Because for us, it's like, the god of death.
The big
you think SBI would
what
care?
SBI even do in that regard? Are they even that invasive?
So the thing with SBI specifically, maybe like, and that may be the problem here, right? They have brought the idea of consultancy into the mainstay, into the ears of the normal consumer, and not in the best ways. They may not be the best example of what is done, but make no mistake, these consultants are across the board on all of your favorite games, and when they're not, there's debilitatingly bad results. More often than not, there aren't the voices in the room that you want. So these consultants come and check your work to make sure that, hey, we're not doing something weird here, or you're not offending somebody weird. That is their stopgap solution to make some of this stuff work. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, yeah, SBI may not be the best. Best example of that. You know what I'm saying? But even SBI specifically has been part of many games that you haven't heard of, that kind of came and went and did good things, and that was it. It's just they become a lightning rod for poison on the internet these days.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Big Diddy 08. He says, "Damn, K, the mental gymnastics, bro." I don't know, he's alluding to that.
I believe there are nuances in all conversations. I don't necessarily subscribe to the headlines, but to each his own.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, an example of where I was joking with J-Rock, or J-Rock made the joke where he says, well, you know what, maybe SBI isn't so bad and was needed, and Stellar Blade is the one that came to the fore with this, with its little, in my opinion, potentially, we don't know definitively, an unintentional mistake. So for people who don't know, Stellar Blade, we'll talk about the game itself, but you have to talk about, it's a good segue into the convo. Stellar Blade doesn't have SBI consulting, and a lot of people, a lot of incels as well, but a lot of people were like, yeah, like this game, it has ass. It doesn't pander to, Western sensibilities about, beauty. That's like, especially the mandate from what people believe SBI is, and some developers, it's beautifying women in a way that's a lot more flagrant and whatever. And then Stellar Blade comes out, and then this screenshot does the rounds. It says hard, and then they've got this graphic called hard, like a graffiti thing, and it's slapped around in multiple places in the game. But then one screenshot that did the rounds it was hard, and a sign that said R. So it said hard R. And when I saw that, and I saw J-Rock share it, I was like, what? That's so dumb, bro. But I'm aware of it because I follow a lot of American culture. I love the Boondocks, and my Twitter feed, my YouTube, everything is very American centric. But the reality is, a lot of people didn't know what it is, and I reached out to Oti, who's in Kenya. I was like, "What do you think about this hard R?" He goes, "What's that?" And I speak to my Jamaican friend here. He's like, "Yo," I sent him the picture. He's like, and he's talking about that chick's ass. I'm like, no, look at the wall. And he goes, yeah, like it's R-rated. What? You don't understand. And most people don't, but Americans, or most Americans, I would imagine, definitely do. But
nope.
African Americans.
Not most Americans, yes.
Specifically African Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember,
or those who are very associated with them.
There's a specific culture that really speaks to, because it's a specific culture that has been used against.
Yeah.
Specific culture. It's like walking around, what do you call it? God of War. You hear boy speaking left and right. No big deal. You do that in the South to the wrong person, you're not coming home.
Would you say boy?
Right? Yes.
Because that was a derogatory way to say that you're
thing.
not an adult or human, right? It's
Sorry,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just stuff you may not realize, but
this is the stuff you don't exactly, right? This is how the South were marginalizing African Americans. Now, let me be clear before people come at me with the pitchforks. I am African before anything else. I came here on a first class ticket, baby. Calm down. Right? I know where I am. But what I will let y'all know is, as I'm learning and growing in the space with the people that I talk to, while it may not be an affront to me, I'm learning to understand how some of these things are affront to others. And let me be clear here, specifically with the SBI, with this hard R stuff, right? Even I was like, oh, I knew what it was, right? But it doesn't raise to the level of ire. It's just kind of like, oh, well, that's just more of them doing what they do, and we keep it moving. To me, this is the same level. This is the same level as chocobos, but no black people. Okay, yeah, and we kept it moving, right? That's what it was. But it seems like it turned into a bigger thing because people expected black people to pick up the pitchforks. People, oh, calm down. And I've heard a lot of folks saying that, like telling the people who are upset about it to not be so sensitive, even though these are the things that have been used against them specifically forever, right? So I guess the part where I see where they're coming from is, why is it that when Star Wars, right, it needs to adhere to the Chinese public, you'll put the black dude in the back because you're trying to adhere to their public, right?
Sorry, what? So
yeah.
You didn't know that, dude? Oh.
When Black Panther is going to be shown, when Black Panther is going to be shown to Chinese audiences, they bring the one white guy to the front and put all the black people in the back. But when it comes to something like this, oh yeah, that's what happens. But when it comes to something like this, the people who feel marginalized, for better or worse, are told to shut up and stop being sensitive. That I am keenly on their side about, right? It's not necessarily like, oh my God, it's we're gonna boycott. Nobody's saying that. But to look out on the internet and to hear people just be like, they're saying the inside words out loud. They got the hoods on, the whole situation, right? That becomes a problem. That's all I'm saying.
That Grums guy, that fat piece of shit, he's just talking bollocks, bruv. Like, why do people still listen to him? He's a moron. And he's obviously grifting on that. But my point was this. Like, I was like, if you keep... And I made it very clear, and I had Infinite Umbra in the chat as well. He's just like, oh, bro, I didn't like...
Going on, Umbra?
Shout out to Umbra. He's like, oh, bro, and he... shame on him? Sorry. I was saying props to him. He actually reached out in DMs to me about it. And he didn't like what I had to say. And all I said was this. I said, for the people who think that this was intentional, I don't think it's intentional because it's a very American thing. I reached out to OT. I've got the fucking voice note. It would be so funny.
And I think you're right. It's more often than not, most likely carelessness. But what becomes grating is they take the time and calibrate for others, but never for them.
But they didn't. Right? The thing is, that's the thing. Stellar Blade didn't calibrate. It didn't calibrate. It's like, well, we'll talk about the other bit of the censorship.
It's been censored in other countries where they know that the skin may not work, right? They do that for other audiences.
Oh, but Stellar Blade, they moved on this very quick. and then they changed it. And then they changed it to, and they just replaced it with the word crime. And then someone went out and said, "Oh, crime are like, bruv, let's be real."
You got me on that one. I didn't know that one.
95% of you didn't even know what the fuck that meant. Apparently, crime was a slur as well because someone pulled up freaking Urban Dictionary in it. Like, come on, bruv. That's like, I'm like, you're now because, and the reason why this pisses me off is if people start. Like the perception, I'm not even saying it's like people don't have a right to be pissed off. I understand the context of it. I'm just saying other people don't, and a bunch of Koreans may. We don't know the intention of people. We don't know.
True.
It could be the case where there's this fucking weird guy's like, hey, I'm gonna be fucking a little bit of a racist bitch, and boom. I don't think that's gonna happen.
It happens everywhere. It's happened in Halo. It happens everywhere. It happens,
but
right? It happens,
but they did it. They rectified it. They changed it. Crime, like they did it, and I was just like, can we just talk about the intention part of it? And all I was talking about is intention. So I'm not saying it's bad that you do. Don't feel bad about it. I'm not. Infinite Umbra to this day say you're tone policing. I'm like, all I'm talking about is the intention. Now, all I'm saying, the likelihood of the intention of the developers that shift up or one person to put this graphic that appears multiple places and in this is very low. And I will say this, and it's going to be a controversial thing, a lot of Americans just wouldn't let me have that I'm saying I'm specifically
and when I say I keep repeating it to you as well. It's not just Americans. It's specifically the marginalized group within America, the African American.
But then,
right?
okay, Asante, look, tell me about where this leaves me. Yeah. So I've talked about this, and I said I'm just talking about intention. And a lot of people said, "You're not black, don't talk about it." But when it was forced,
I hate that. I hate that.
And I was saying, I thought that was a bit racist. I said, "Don't talk about it." And that's
let me be clear on that one. On that one, like when they came for you, I stood behind you, and I will continue to stand behind you. If you want these stupid things to change, it can't be the people that look like you that keeps talking about it. It has to be people that don't look like you. So when my brother Gaz sees something that he thinks that might not be cool, and he feels the need to speak on it, let the man speak on it. Because when it's beyond people that look like me speaking on it, then it's not just, well, there's the circle jerk of people just saying what they want. No, you want that to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
and that's why this is a good conversation.
Yes,
this is why it's a good, like, people shouldn't be like, and then I had Ham Solo and others are like, just like, oh, this is not it, bro. This is a bad tech. Like, but why? I'm clearly talking about is the intent. I think there's a lot of people, because they're so emotionally affecting them.
This is why I keep saying the African American. This is why I keep saying that because they are the marginalized group who've had to deal with these kind of things for a long time. So they are more susceptible to it, which I hear you, because you say, oh, some people are just too sensitive. I agree with that too. All of that is in the soup.
I didn't say that
because they have been, although I'm saying that
as well.
I am saying that. And they have a right to feel sensitive because once in a while they turn around and they go, chocobos exist, but black people don't. This keeps happening to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. But I think where people really lost the thread and are really angry on them Twitter streets is more of the people themselves going, oh, you're just too sensitive. You don't understand why they are sensitive about it. Talk to them in earnest and I didn't get all of it, but I get it now, right? And I'm not sitting there going, oh, we should just boycott. None of that. Because I didn't see it raised to the level of anybody doing anything but going, oh, well, that's just the same thing. You know, nobody was clutching pearls. What's pissing people off is the others on the Twitter streets going, oh, well, you know, making the people's justified frustrations and turning a molehill into a mine, you know, into a landmine. Well, that's what's happening. You know?
Someone put on the basis of me just saying, like, by the way, and they put Linus Tech Tips little thing. He thought hard R meant for mental disabilities, right? And then his friend corrected him. And I shared that. And on the basis of me just saying that, all I'm saying is just, I don't think the intention's the same. Well, you know what happened? Some moron put my head on a KKK freaking gun because it's there. This is the right point. Now,
this is the point, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But if there's any criticism I give all of this, it's the idea that if anything else, it's laziness. It's they didn't know, oh, we only have so much budget. Yeah, we've adhered to A, B, and C. Yeah, let's just keep it moving. And then as soon as they were called out, they cut it out. It's the same thing like Atomic Heart, right? It came out, had clearly racist old school like cartoons in there, like really clearly racist cartoons. As soon as they got see, oh my bad, but it just keeps happening, and then every time it happens, you tell the people whose foot got stepped on to calm down because they're going too much. This is why they're sensitive, right? Because they're the ones that always have to buck it up. Oh, leave it alone, you're fine.
Yeah, it's true.
This is why.
Yeah, I mean, even Infinite Umbra, even though just I was like, he's in the chat, and I'll read it out. I don't think you got it. And I was just like, you're not. I'm just talking about intention. I'm not tone policing. He goes, I believe it was unintentional as well, but to dismiss it, but no one is doing that. I'm not anyway. And tell those who affects, i.e., a Black American who's been used against how to feel or react is the problem. And I agree, but no one is telling you how to feel. We're telling you what our perception and our anecdotal evidence. Bro, in my thread, I had bare Black people saying, "What does that even mean?" And you realize they're not Americans. And that's right. I'm trying to tell you, like, this is an American
they're not
thing.
African
American.
American.
The world is not America.
Because remember, even America does not have a problem with this. It's African Americans.
African Americans
Yes, there's a subset. There's a subset.
This is a challenge that's going to happen as the world gets smaller and smaller. And we get games and and it's a natural part of the discourse. And this is what's going to, and in a way, it's good that it happens. Now, some Koreans definitely know what hard R means.
Some, right? And I think, one of the things I mentioned, we had this with Ham Solo, right? Is there's a way to look at it from an indie developer, right? An indie developer may not be able to do all these things. When it's published, though, by a major platform, and then, you say, hey, one of your major markets is going to be the US, then you kind of should check these things. It's not like the end of the world,
SBI comes in.
Right?
There you go. I was just about to. Right? That's where you need your. Now, SBI may not be the dirty word. Let's not do that.
You know what I mean?
But that's where consulting is necessary.
But and maybe there should be equivalents to SBI. But no, and SBI, I don't mind.
And that's why I found it hilarious. The irony behind all of this, and the game that they've been latching onto, Stellar Blade. This is it, anti-SBI. Boom! They got hard R. Me and J-Rock are laughing, and J-Rock's like, "Well, maybe SBI should exist." And that's all so fucking funny. Yeah. I'm not saying SBI.
These are the reasons. These are the reasons why they will go to a consulting company and go, "Hey, man, how's the story? How's the visual?" Right? There you go.
From a game perspective, right? This doesn't change the game. Just fixing this piece doesn't change the game. Yeah. So, fix it.
You were saying this before on Ham's show, which is very, very interesting, right? What if they put Egyptian paraphernalia in it, right? You do know that if you check in the history of Egyptian paraphernalia, one of the Egyptian signs that people know very well of is now called the swastika, but it started in Egypt, right? So if you put that in there, right? You're speaking to your Egyptian roots. You're talking about that would really piss some people off for obvious reasons. This is why you need somebody to come and check your work. Yeah, I'm not going to say SBI, but there you go.
Because that is in a lot of games. They have the swastika as a Nazi symbol, not as it's still a Hindu religious symbol.
Exactly.
Do we take offense to that? Yeah, right. It's like
this is the thing, right?
I mean, the word
the man Boxenberger, like he had to buy that game, Wolfenstein, outside of his country because within his country,
it's not even allowed. Yes, it's not even allowed.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not a straightforward, yes or no, or it's a very nuanced discussion. It always has been. It always will be. And the one thing I keep saying, the one thing I keep saying is, we have one beachhead that all these other cultural things don't have. We tend to be gamers that have a shared interest. So you can jump on a party chat and talk to your brother about, hey, man, how was this or how was that? And get educated real quick and don't have to take it to the tribalism streets. Like, you know what I mean? Go there.
But this is what I'm trying to explain. Look, Infinite Umbra, with all due respect, you still haven't got it after 3 days. You say the point is that it is. So instead of telling people how it could affect to react according to how you do, no one is doing that. Or not make a big deal about it isn't your place to do so. Why? First of all, I'm not telling anyone how to behave. I'm just trying to say this is what the intention is. All I'm talking about is the fact of intention. No, I can't establish it. I don't know what's in their mind. I'm just saying if Black people in my friend circle don't know what it is, Most people in my chat didn't know what it is. Dorian Gray in the chat is a black man living in South Korea. And it says, I don't know what it is. That's all I'm saying. And like proportionality in terms of like go mad at it. And it's going to be counterintuitive. If you don't want to take my view on it, that's absolutely fine. You can dismiss it all you want. But for you to say you haven't got a place to say it with respect, I don't give a fuck what you think. I will talk about it. It's because I do care about it. And then this is where me and Oti were talking about it. And we feel like there is very different. America, and you know what? I was talking about it with you in DMs, wasn't I, Asante? I was like, I kind of get it. Because if you go to America, there is racism. That's a different type of racism there, man. America's a fucked up place, man, against blacks. I've talked so many times about my podcast and my experiences about how black Americans are treated. So I get it. And like, but I'm just trying people just think outside the box. Like, don't listen to me. Because I haven't got enough melanin, apparently, to talk about it. Listen to OT. Talk to OT about it. Talk to
the problem is if you talk to OT, if you talk to Loke 7, they won't understand it either because they are not part of the marginalized group. Right?
Exactly. But this is marginalized within the marginalized, but ultimately it's about, and in order to get cohesion, like, let's be real, like, we're trying to get, ultimately, to get together, we have to understand each other. And I'm just saying, I'm just trying to, you have to have these difficult conversations. I'm not even telling anyone not to feel a certain way. I'm just trying to, the fact that I even offered my opinion on this set people off. And that's what it's like now.
Honestly, guys, I think you were one among many that have been like, well, I'm not saying what you're doing is what they're doing, but them streets is wild right now. And maybe the time you struck was bad timing because it is wild out there.
Normally when this happens, I do watch from a distance. I'm like, this is, a lot of them said this is fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah.
But at this time I was like, such a slow week. I'm like, bro, I just wanted to offer, like, most people won't know what it, that's all I was saying. Now I say black Americans know what it is. Absolutely. In fact, the reason I know is because I've watched the Boondocks. Most of my friends are American. I understand that, but I didn't know about the boy thing. Like, that's an anti-white thing,
and that's in the South specifically. Like, that is how, like, lynchings and Jim Crow, the whole thing. And I live in Florida these days, so I am very well aware of how that is perceived. Like, I hear Kratos call his son, and I think it's funny. I call my son boy all the time, right? But I do understand that, you know, established individuals, right? People who themselves, within themselves, have reached a certain level where they feel they're established, and then you come here and a cop sees you and, where you going, boy? Right? What you think you're doing, boy?
Racist term used against minorities?
Yes. Used against African Americans, right? You go into a grocery store and they'll follow you
in movies. They'll
follow you, right? And then what you looking for, boy? Right? And that brings up that animus, brings up that, you know what I'm saying? Now let's once again be clear. I'm not saying it necessarily affects me directly, but as a person who I try to, you know, the man that knows something knows you knows nothing at all. I try to always take in new information. I try to understand where people are coming from. So at first, much like the exclusivity PC, the exclusivity debate, I was just like, I don't get it. And then I had to listen to my console brethren, and now I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same way here, where I'm like, although I hear the N-word and I just go, y'all are sad, right? Some people hear that and it's bows for war, right? And I'm starting to understand that. Because if you've lived in this way and your family have lived in this way and the generations before you have lived in this way and you keep having to deal with it, those things are a trigger point for war. May not be for me, but I get why some people have to take it there. That's all it is, you know.
That's the mature kind of perspective on it.
I mean, so one of the things, guys, that, you know, like Asante brought up about, like, China. I mean, like, there is this whole pervasiveness within, especially China, but other areas around there too, of just total anti-black racism. They're it's blatant
and Korea
anti-black
as well,
racism.
actually. I was watching a documentary.
So as I said, like, most of that area, right? It's bad. And like, to placate them because they want the money, Hollywood has done exactly that. They will.
What you just said was crazy. And I fully haven't comprehended what you've said there because. Can you just let me know? I'm sorry to go on that point because what you said sounds so fucking crazy to me. I'm not sure I heard it properly. So can you just
check the Black Panther poster that was released specifically for the Chinese audiences. Okay. Check the recent Star Wars posters that were specifically released for the Chinese audience.
The Black Panther poster, if they've done China,
they did.
Now, if you watch the Black Panther movie. Minor spoilers. There is a Caucasian individual who is part of the story, but clearly isn't the focus of the story. He is put front and center in this poster, and all the actual heroes are in the back because Chinese audiences need to see something else that everybody else does. You see what I'm saying? Like this is the world we live in.
I can't see it at the moment, but that's fucking crazy.
And let me be clear. I agree with Hargeet when he says. They shouldn't change their vision for anybody. It should be what it is, right? 100%.
That's true.
But if you are going to placate, then you need to placate across the board. Don't be doing that to everybody else, and then the Black American needs to suck it up because it's not a big deal.
I don't think Hollywood should do that. I think Hollywood should say, "Suck it up." Suck it up. That's who is the main character. Deal with it.
But then they get no money in China, which is a very big market.
Exactly.
Right?
But so this is the thing, right? So, and I get it. It's about money. I get that it's about money. At some point, though, it should always be about the principle of upholding what you are. And if we don't even uphold our own principles, that's what sucks. This
is why you and I connect, sir, because I believe the same thing. Unfortunately, the world is a polluted place.
It's about money. I get it. And Disney sits there and tells us all about how they have all these like aspirational things about being equality and all that, and then they totally freaking throw it away. BS. The second when it comes to putting something on China, like is screw you. You don't. You do not do that because if you did, you would take the hit and you would say, no, this is what we put out. Take it. Right? You don't want to give us money? Fine. We'll take the hit. They didn't do that. So I don't buy any of their crap either. They're just placating people to get money.
It's just pandering. It's pandering. And I guess the thing that and maybe it's a ridiculous notion of mine is if you're going to pander, why do you pander to all these other groups except for the one group that's already sensitive to these things? You pander to everyone else. But to the group that's always sensitive to these things, them you go, yeah, we're going for realism. Chocobos were real, but Black people aren't. Like, come on now. Come on. And then if you do represent Black people, you give them a black head and make them a stereotypical, ridiculous, shuck and jive racist.
Final Fantasy still got away with that at 16. I'm sorry.
Of course they did.
Bro, that's a fucking crap. I don't know how. Like, we were making noise about the hard R and Stella Blade. The Final Fantasy thing is fucking stupid. Let's be real,
but see, this is why I keep saying that. That's why most of the people that I heard talking about this went, there's Final Fantasy, there's Forspoken. There are so many other things that raised a higher level of ire. This was just kind of like, oh, another day, another Tuesday. Let's keep it moving. And then the streets started fighting, and I'm just like, what's going on?
I mean, I'd call it out. Just like have them fix it, right? It's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
And they fixed it.
Again, it's not like small studio. This is PlayStation actually publishing a game, right? They said they published it, right? So at that point, I'm going to call it like a little bit, but you have a little bit more of a responsibility. You're going to put it in this market.
That's a good point. No, why not? Why not? Of course.
If you're not making me read subtitles, if the manuals that come with it are in English, you need to do at least a bit of your due diligence.
Yeah. That's a great point. Who's going to argue against that? Interesting point, though. Asa, why? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Asa, what's your take on the whole thing?
I don't have one right now. I've been watching something else. Carry on. That was interesting to listen to. I am listening, but I don't have a lot to add.
Yeah, I thought like it's a loaded one where people, because emotions are high on it, and like I also noticed that people are like, why are you talking about it and all of that stuff is because I think it's a different mind frame. Because when I went to uni, it was always these topics in my WhatsApp groups. There's always these like really like, okay, my WhatsApp groups ever got leaked, we'd all get banned. But it's just like a different, like, bro, like OT would get banned, I would get banned, all of us would get banned. But I don't think the internet, Twitter doesn't seem like a real place. But It's but we have those conversations. And I enjoy those conversations, and I think that's a sign of progression as well. Like, just have the real. But it's bad. Look, the ones that don't. No, this is not aimed at you, Asa. I was gonna say the ones that don't say anything are the ones you need to watch out for. But it was not you, Asa. You always do talk about these issues, but it's the ones that you will sit in the shadows and they don't actually get involved in these conversations.
I think it's worse. I think it's what, like Asante, you were pointing out. There are like grifters that take things way too far on the other side and make it all about a war against blah, blah, blah. Like, I get pushing back against things, keep things in moderation. I'm good with that. When you go too far to say we can't have any of this, it's like, no, there are reasons to talk about this. There are reasons to consider some of these things, but we don't have to make it like everything has to change and everything has to be ridiculous. We just need to bring it to moderation where everybody gets a little bit of betterness, right? We want to improve everything, right? It doesn't like,
so you don't have to put it on the post. You don't have to put it on Front Street. But guys, if you want to see what we're talking about with the posters, I put them in the DM. Maybe just keep them there.
Oh shit! Yes, I want to see this, bro. Because the ones I've searched, I haven't. Yes.
And to be clear, when they came out, people called them out, right? It was a thing, but they did that to placate certain audiences, right?
So. Yeah, that's just dumb, bro. I can't see it, but let me.
No, it's in my. Actually, you know what? I'll put it in your Twitter DM. I put it in the StreamYard DM. Maybe.
Sorry. Yeah, that doesn't work. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've got it though.
I'll do that.
I've got it.
Yeah. But yes, interesting nuance.
Put a mask on his face.
Thank you. Just so you don't see he's a black man.
That's not even his actual mask, right?
Exactly.
What the fuck is that, bro? They did like mid-journey the shit of it and it covered his face, bro. That's fucking bad racist.
This is what they do to make sure that you go see the movie. You know what I mean?
You see the Star Wars one? Did you hear what they did, by the way, when COVID lockdowns happened? Did you hear what they did to black people? No? Okay, so basically they said, if you're renting a place, we're going to kick you out of those rental places. You can't live there. They told all businesses you cannot conduct any business with black people, so they couldn't even go to a hotel, couldn't get freaking food from a freaking restaurant, okay? They basically wanted them out of the country. Okay, that's what they did to them. They're so disgustingly racist against black people.
Let's not generalize against the Chinese as well.
It's the government. But okay, it's up to the freaking people to change all that. But hey, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, let's be real, bruv. Like when the Ukraine war happened, they wouldn't even allow black people on the trains, bruv. You want to side with Ukraine? Like what the fuck? I saw that.
It's just so crazy, dude.
And you're Ukrainian. Again, this is just like they're racist in every culture, bruv. Like we had Ukrainian refugees in the UK housed. They were in a housing thing, escaping war, and one woman was like, "It smells like Muslims here. All this Asian food. I don't want to be here." I'm like, you just fucking escaped a war country, bro. And this is what it is, man. Racism.
I mean, they did that too, China, right? The whole Uyghur thing. That like,
bro. Like,
let's not start down that path.
America's not perfect either, bro. America's
of course not
right now.
Yes, of course not. Yep.
Like every country's the same, man. Like, so I don't want to generalize against like. Yeah, it's just the world's fucked. But it's good to have these conversations. Let me read these super chats. We got Shabs. He goes, "Woo, sir, too much sensitivity." There you go. Boom, cancelled. Alvin with a $10 super chat. Not to add more layers, but black Americans, in inverted commas, are very ideologically diverse within ourselves, even regarding offenses, although certain things are pretty unanimous. Lol. Yeah. Great convo. Yeah, okay. No, absolutely. And we need to know that because it's so diverse, even in America, because it's such a fucking massive country in a melting pot of multiple societies within.
We miss Dave Chappelle. He used to bring these things to the forefront in the funniest way, and everybody could understand it. Right? We miss, like you say, the Boondocks, one of the greatest shows on earth. We need more of that. So it shows the people, hey,
get greenlit now.
It would not get greenlit today. No, absolutely
no way. Boondocks wouldn't, and it's amazing. And I was watching Dave Chappelle yesterday. I can't even repeat the stuff he says. No, because he's bulletproof for some reason because he's so
amazing.
Good. And I said. America's too good. He's too good for America. Too good. Because a lot of what he's talking about, I don't think a lot of people even appreciate on a granular level because he'll always be the GOAT to me, the number one comedian of all time. And I was watching a skit of him. I can't even do it. But it was so fucking good. He's too good. He's just the best. and it transcends time. Like this narrative from his younger days as well, but the new one he's evolved to another level. BT Maverick, thank you for the $10 super chat. Like Insomniac taking out the pride flags out of Spider-Man 2 for the Middle East countries because of money. Exactly. And that was supposed to be the game that's inclusive unless you are a PR flag. Absolutely. So the Muslim in me completely understands that, by the way. Now, this is going to get me fucking cancelled on the internet, but
no, I brought that up too, guys. I'm like most of Africa, most of Asia, you know, the gay stuff. A bunch of like, is it no go? Completely, yep,
bro. Like you can't have that in Saudi, bro.
Yep,
you can't have that.
No go.
And this is gonna get like, oh, guys, you're like whatever. You can call me whatever, but you cannot have that in Saudi. I understand that, bro. But you have to understand the context. If you're watching movies in the Saudi versions, then someone starts to kiss, it skips. And it's just like, what the fuck? Every time like their sex scene, it just skips. Different cultures also have different sensibilities. All that stuff's like, but people will say, you know, that makes you homophobic if you are an Arab, and Arabs will say, okay, and that's the world we live in. You have differences in the way we think, but we're still trying to strive to find the things that commonalities in bringing us together, and that's the beauty of this world, the struggle of man,
and that's the beauty of gaming, right? You get to talk to people from all walks of life and have these conversations in a place where you know it can be had in earnestness without there being that ridiculous. Because you talk to Gaz all the time, he talks to you, y'all play games together. It's not a big deal. Like you can ask these uncomfortable questions,
bro. Okay, something like we're humans, man. We feel a certain way. I can feel strongly about a certain way, and someone can say, and it's just you have to air it out. At least be sincere, you know.
Absolutely,
it's just human. This is just. I feel like I'm in university again.
We're learning something, you know. Yeah.
No, it's really good to have. I love these conversations. I think they're really important. Stellar Blade also got it murked recently, and I haven't followed this through. And I like even Nick Marseille was DMing, he like voice note me. He goes, "Bro, can we get some fucking gaming news because it's so dry out here and we're talking about bullshit." So Stellar Blade apparently has been censored, or some part of it where the body, like the
DLC,
censored.
The DLC for the one of the bunny suits I hear has been censored. Also, they had like an imprint of the parts, as it were. You know, it was basically painted on, and now since the patch, it looks like it's not so painted on anymore. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying,
bro.
It looks like they're shaving corners. A little bit, you know what I'm saying?
But I saw something on Twitter. Yeah, he goes, one guy was like, "You can't even see her vag bones anymore." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?"
You could see her vag bones, as they say. Yes, and now it looks like that's been kind of cleaned over because, you know, Sony ain't trying to get anybody angry at them like that, you know.
I also saw the tweet of there was like that Grum's piece of shit, bro. I'm sorry, man, he's fucking weird. And he's a grifter. I'm sorry, he grifts like fuck. And he set up a petition, and I don't think hardly anyone signed it, which is actually gives me faith in the world. But then there was a group, like a video or something, where people shared of the people complaining, and I looked at the people like in the video film. First time, I was like, I get it now. If you see the guys complaining, you're like, none of these guys have touched a woman in their life. But, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But fucking hell, man. It's just, it's weird. Censorship. There might be a valid argument, though, about the censorship thing. But every time I look at it, I'm like, how much more shit do you want to see in this world?
So wait, so this censorship in certain countries, they just kind of took those pieces out? Is that...
They took some of the pieces out, or they modified it. Like, remember, because people got a chance to try it before they had the demo. That's the question, right? Based on the small bit of information that they themselves, Shift Up has spoken. I think a spokesperson spoke about it. They gave a very PlayStation-esque answer. This is the way it was supposed to be in the first place, but you can tell that how it was before is not how it is now.
Well,
right?
Why did they change the same thing?
So is it universal change?
Why did they change it? No, that's the
I'm not sure if it's across the board. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's across the board or if it's in certain jurisdictions. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but yes,
there may be another side to it. I personally don't give a fuck, because it hasn't changed. Like they showed the before and after. I'm like, what am I looking at? And I couldn't really see it.
The camel toe is not so pronounced now.
Oh, okay. Maybe there's an argument there. I'm not saying like anyone complaining about it is completely wrong, but I did see the Grums guy is a fucking weirdo, and he's not. And, you know, like, whatever. Like, censorship, like, well, why? What's the reason? And the Koreans, like, did it. Did they succumb to the pressure of it? But one thing I didn't like, and we'll talk about this part now, is actually the game itself, funnily enough. So it's met up, like, decent critical reviews, 82 on Metacritic and whatnot. And I thought that's really good, because I said it's good to see a South Korean outfit do well and to tell a unique story, because South Korean like dramas are really good as well, and I like to see new outfits thrive. And I think 82 is a good score for a developer that did mobile games mostly. But then you see the reviews, and some reviews just couldn't help mention the sexualization, and mentioned it in a negative way. And it's just like, the question I have to ask is, and when I read these reviews, I didn't think that was a valid justification for docking points for a game. Now, Asa, I'm mindful of the fact that you haven't said anything. What's your take on, first of all, the critical reception of Stellar Blade, and do you think it's okay to dock points because of the over-sexualization of a character?
That's a difficult question because I've not really read any of the reviews for it. I think it's reasonable to mention what's happening with that character and whether you feel... Because I don't see a problem with someone playing the game and saying, this is a little bit weird, actually. It's taken me out of the world and the story a little bit because I'm not sure why this character is naked. And that's not... That's not like woke to acknowledge that it's a little bit strange, because it is. And I don't think many people did particularly dock points. Like, it scores from what I've played. I've only played the demo. I've not played the game. And we had a little conversation about it last week. Like, do you think it's going to get hammered for the way that the character looks and all the rest of it? And I said at the time, I don't think it will. I think people are going to be scared to hammer it because they'll be accused of doing it just for that reason. Like, even if the game's mediocre, they're going to give it a decent enough score, because otherwise everyone will just dismiss their review completely and say that they're doing it for this agenda or whatever. I think that's pretty much played out. It did fine in its reviews.
Seriously, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. Like, people are going to comment on what they want to comment on. That's the point of reviews, really. So.
Yeah, that's true. Fonz played Stellar Blade, and he found it, like, he's not a prude. Yeah, fair enough. But his daughter, I think, was next to him, and the daughter was like, "What? Why is she not wearing any clothes?" And Fonz kind of felt a bit weird playing that game in front of his daughter, just because on the
well, and that's because he chose that suit, right? Because you don't have to choose that suit.
Fonz, you disgusting perv.
You can choose whatever you want.
You
right?
love that.
Arguito, I will say, even though I have a nice OLED 4K screen in the living room where it can be played beautifully, I had the remote play that on the handheld, because I too have a daughter. I ain't trying to answer those questions. You know,
he wasn't. He wasn't having. He did it make him feel a certain way, and obviously every game is 18 for violence or for swearing or anything. It's a mature game, so like sex.
I honestly think.
Category, so,
I think what you're saying there, that's what's apt here, right? Games have become more than just a child's toy, right?
Exactly.
There are books and movies for all manners of audiences, both young and mature. But for some reason, since games, maybe the name of them still kind of gives a bad connotation, it assumes that every piece
and maybe
of
that's what needs to change.
Has to adhere to children, right? Which
right?
I have no issues with that, right? You can have Stella Yams, man. You can have them yams out. But they need to be for adults. You're not playing porn on the screen during the day for your children to watch.
Well,
right?
Exactly.
So you shouldn't play games that are risque on your TV for children to watch. Yeah. And they both should be allowed to live, because games are now a fundamental medium to deliver all sorts of stuff. That same screen, that same box can play your, I don't know, Bluey in addition to Stella Yams, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. Both should be allowed to live. I honestly think, guys, what you're talking about with the reviews and how it is, that is, again, the cultural differences speaking there. Most of those audiences, most of those reviews Even though gaming is everywhere, they adhere to American reviewers more than anything else. And a lot of those American reviewers are on some, we're beyond this kind of stuff, right? They don't see this. They'll be the same people that'll be like, gaming is art and it needs to be represented. But the minute you show them something that's a little bit beyond the pale of what they think, now all of a sudden it's, docked because of that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's still, again, a nuanced, odd kind of thing. But I too, while I will gladly partake in the Stella Yams, I may do it on my remote screen rather than the big screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will do the same. I will be playing it, not play with next. My woman will be like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I would like to say to chat that Colt Eastwood likes to make very scantily clad characters. Yeah. You perv.
Anywho.
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
Look, movie, with that, like, what was the Immortality, I think was the name of the game that was the video-based game, right? There is a lot of nudity in that game. But it scored really well. Nobody complained about it. And why that is because in movies, we just expect it. And it's lauded. It's lauded, right? Whereas in games, it's not. And the thing here is it is probably just like you're saying, Asante, it's called games. Maybe we should change it to interactive entertainment. That's what it really is, interactive entertainment. Instead of making it something about games, just change it to what it really
Nintendo, right? It started with the things that the
Atari
kids were playing to be busy.
And Calypso, right?
Well, that connotation never changes.
This is just true, my lord. He loves this.
So, but that's really it, though, right? If you take the same mentality and say, hey, it's okay when it's in movies, then why isn't it okay over here? And again,
been saying that
the character is designed after an actual human being. That actual human being is like that. So is designing based on an actual human being a bad thing? Like why are we shying away from that, right? So yes, the one suit that I will say looks really weird to have is the one that's got the skin coloring that covers certain
birthday suit,
small areas, and the rest is just skin.
The brown, it looks like bits of.
I'll just play it for those who don't know what I'm talking about. I actually have the stupid video here as a background. You can actually see what I'm talking about. There's various suits. That suit is okay. It's not bad. There's a couple of suits that are pretty good, but the last suit is a little over the top, and that's the one that. So you'll see what I mean when it gets to that one. But either way, I think that's the problem. It's a cultural issue of we're treating it like it's for children instead of treating it for what it is, art. Right, like you were saying, Gaz. It's art, and in art, in movies and TV, we're okay with
I haven't seen this 360 degree. Right? Keep it going, Asa, for the whole stream. I mean, research.
For research,
but either way, right? And then this is a perfectly normal outfit, whatever, right? So it's just jeans, normal, whatever. It's fine, right? I think it's the next one that's the really this one.
There you go.
Where it is an outfit.
Come on, bro.
You are covering things up.
They knew what they were doing.
But good God, it is.
And the physics on that one is on another level. I tried it in the demo. Oh boy.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So it goes a little far, right? So and I tend to agree that last suit is a little okay, but again, if you had that in a movie, nobody would think twice about it, right? So that I think that's what needs to kind of change is say, look, this is an adult game, it's a mature game, it's rated R, right? Just leave it at that, and it should be treated as that, and we shouldn't take it as controversial because again, if you played Immortality, which probably most of you didn't, I finished that. It's got a lot of nudity.
And it's got a lot of
nudity.
Yes.
Sounds like
it's
porn,
real, actual, live human beings, lots of nudity, male and female.
Scrubbing through video feeds, and she's an actress, and sometimes she's full on, just right there, and you're scrubbing through,
all of it. Not just top, but all of it. You see all of it. Right?
Yes.
It's just full nudity, right? And we don't have any complaints about that.
An art house game, an art house game, a movie where, and it is, right? It's very, very for a specific kind of audience, which it was good for what it was. But
Last of Us 2 had
because of it. Yeah.
Last of Us 2 had a sex scene too, right? With the other lady, what Abby was it? Whatever her name is, I don't know. But right, so okay, we just take it as art, right? And that one seemed to be okay, right? I think we just need to get to that level to say look, we this medium has matured to the point where it is just entertainment. It is like movies and TV now. just take it as such, right? And
Yeah.
there's going to be stuff that's going to be for mature audiences, and accept it as mature audiences, and say, well, folks, this is not for your kids. Just take it as that. Right? It is what it is, right? Yeah. So I think that's kind of the controversy with that specific piece. Though I got to say that last outfit was a little much, but again, if it's for mature audiences, fine, whatever, right? If that's what you want, that's what you want.
Yeah. Dr. Martin Van Nostrand says the issue for many women is the objectification of women. I guess you could make an argument that I would counter that with and again, this is going to get me murked. Men, we are designed a certain way, and we're just built like we're just animals, man.
I'll say, let me flip this coin real quick. Just like whenever, just like I say, hey, there are normals out there, right? You want to represent them. This isn't status quo either. Not every single game is completely skin, freaking boob physics. This can live just like others can live, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, there's objectification of women. That's true. And as a man who's raising a daughter, I don't want those images to be what she sees always. But then it's my job to make sure she doesn't see those images, and she doesn't see it everywhere. Right? Because 99.999%, like if you play Tomb Raider right now, she's no longer the pointy boobed girl anymore. She's a normal human now.
No. Actually, you know what my girlfriend said? She goes, she doesn't follow any of this shit, but she liked Tomb Raider. She played Tomb Raider and all of it. She used to lock the butler in the freaking mansion. You used to do that thing. She was like that. She was proper into it. And she looked at new Tomb Raider and she said, what did they do to Lara Croft? What happened to her?
Some women are actually even upset at the fact that they've dumbed her, not dumbed her down, but normalized her. Yes.
Yeah, she's like pretty but she's like, they're just she's not.
So just like we complain that y'all can calm down, you can have some diverse characters, right? We can also y'all can also calm down. Some girls can be really, really, the TNA can be on display, because as not every game is like that. And if this medium is allowed to grow, all avenues must be able to exist.
Absolutely, man.
And Asante, the answer to your daughter is you just need to tell her, because if you think this is the only medium where that's a problem, no, social media has already done that. In
10 times
ways.
My daughter has no phone.
You have to tell her what to do.
I calibrate all avenues of her social media existence.
Oh, that's good.
It ain't going down
it may not be from your calibrated devices.
How old is your daughter?
You just have to deal with these things, bro.
7, yeah. But when she's like
itching
10,
to play Halo
12, and 13, then when your fucking games start.
But
we got teaching and guiding. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be tough, bro.
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone's like, well, you don't have a phone? What's going on? And then that age is like 10 now. Like the first language kids learn now is the digital language with interacting with screens and stuff. It's tougher and tougher. This is the medium.
My online filtering game is strong in this house. Don't even worry about it. She ain't getting nothing right now.
I'd like to think that I'd be there and not be lazy.
Was it
with that
Florida
stuff.
where they passed the rule you can't have it under a certain age, like 12 or something like that? You can't have
a social media account or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
Good, right? In Florida,
they're trying to make sure, make sure that Facebook and all this. But then again, I'm sorry, I hate to lay out my Floridians. Then again, as soon as they get enough of a lump sum check from the Zuck, all of a sudden all those rules will not apply. That's just the way the world works.
Exactly. Fuck Zuck.
But thankfully, right now you have it. Hopefully, it actually takes and goes everywhere. I think kids really should be kept away from that stuff. It's pretty bad.
100%. I'm sorry, 100%. Unless you're a shit parent, 100%. Do not let kids have social media. It's toxic as fuck. And because of people like me, but for other reasons, console warriors and so bad. Stellar Blade, the game. Can we fucking talk about the game? So the game is done really well, actually. And I see this debate raging about whether or not it's a Soulsborne game and whatnot. Have any of you gents actually played it? Because I haven't.
Not on PC.
I played the demo.
Oh yeah,
I finished the demo. Because when this whole thing started blowing up, my question was, okay, is it just about them yams or is there more to it? And I played the game, and I'm happy to report that the game as a game is solid, absolutely solid. Like the reviews are genuine. it's a solid game. In addition to the yams of it all, right? So people will play it and they will enjoy it, and when they give good reviews to it, it will be well warranted. It's not a cheap yam delivery device. It's actually a good game that people should play. You know, yeah. So that's that. You know.
And that was my biggest concern, that it was just going to be like literally just the ass that was selling it. But because the game looked so good, I don't think it. Well, I'll be the judge.
It's not perfect, right? It's not perfect. There's still some dead eye stuff going on there. She just looks very dead eyed, as it tends to be. But you know, from a mechanics perspective, this could have been any other character. The moment to moment combat is interesting. You know, there's some interesting stuff there. Again, my only experience with it so far is the demo. But it went from an oddity that I wasn't going to pay attention to okay, at some point I probably will play this because it's interesting.
Oh, okay. You know. What about you, Asa? Have you still played?
I've only played the demo. We spoke about it like a little bit last week, and I think it's like it's a game that I want to play eventually, but it's not like one I need to get immediately. So from the demo alone, it is competent. There's no like you don't have microtransactions in this game and all of that kind of stuff. So in a sense, I want to support it for that kind of thing. The demo is competent in the way that the combat handles, but everything is very like tightly scripted as you go through the level. And this, I'm unsure if this is just because like they wanted to deliver impact in the demo and make things happen, but literally like every 10 feet that you walk, a scripted scene occurs, something falls over, something jumps out, and all the rest of it. As for whether or not it's a Soulsborne game, like labels and semantics don't really matter. It's got a lot of elements in common with the Soul games and a lot of elements that are different, and who cares? But yeah, it seems a pretty decent game. I'll get it one day.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What he said.
Played it for 30 hours. Shabs, thank you for that. You played it for 30 hours. How much of it was actual gameplay and not just staring at the backside of the character? Smart.
I mean, it looks like it's got good gameplay, right? It's.
What was that, sorry?
30 hours and he's still on the first ladder, from what I gather. From the Twitter
the ladder
clips.
is going to get some work in this game from me.
But the gameplay does look like it's pretty good, right? It's like hack and slash type gameplay with some like.
So
it looks good.
So one of the parts I saw though,
most similar to Lies of P, but a little more slashy. In the parry system feels Lies of P like
sounds right more up my alley.
So one part of it I did see I wasn't as enamored by, which was like a boss fight. It had a lot of. It looked like, anyways, quick time button press events, which I'm not usually a fan of, right? So if
I'm not usually a fan of QTs either.
Yeah, so if that's really kind of the gameplay, then I might shy away from it. However, is this like the first big AAA like game that's really coming out of Korea, or are there other big AAA games that have come out of Korea? Because I know they do a lot of mobile stuff.
I'm pretty sure really there's some games, some other
I'm just
bigger
curious.
games.
I don't know.
South Korea, yeah.
But yeah, if this is like the first big one, then maybe I'll just get it when it comes to PC just for that. Like I want to make sure that those kind of develop. Just like Tales of Kenzera, I pre-ordered that like the second I saw that guy come out on stage on the Keeley stage. I'm like, yep, I'm buying this, right? Because I just want to support the fact that we're getting games from diverse areas, right? So, if it, I don't know what the sales are like.
If you recall, the publisher NeoWiz, they're from South Korea, so there's a lot of published games from South Korea.
Yeah, but they're usually smaller or mobile,
including Lies of P. Yes, including Lies of P. Lies of P. Yeah,
okay.
Right. Exactly. So there are lots of games, decent, competent games that have come out of South Korea.
That's
whether
great,
published
right?
by them or made by them. Yeah.
But yeah, so is the Lies of P's developer in Korea, or is it just a publisher?
Apparently it's Korean. That's according to FTW.
NeoWiz is from Korea. They're based in Korea. Yeah.
Awesome. And that would probably be considered more AA, right? But either way, that's pretty cool though, right? So
that's amazing, man. That's really good. We need to see more of that. That's wicked.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
And I'm happy, console warring aside, I was really
despite all the controversy and all that.
Yeah,
hopefully they fix the controversy.
It's just slow news.
NC Soft.
NC Soft.
NC Soft anyway, yeah, but they're usually smaller stuff, right? They're not usually big games.
Pearl Abyss.
Yeah, but
or is that China? That is, I think, China. Am I wrong? Pearl Abyss.
Pearl Abyss and Black Desert and stuff. I think they're South Korea. I could be wrong though.
They're also South. Am I wrong? Yeah, I thought so.
I think they are.
If you haven't seen Pearl Abyss, seek them out. Like they make, at least the games themselves, Black Desert Online and all this. Like the games themselves have been so from a gameplay perspective, but they can make games. If you look at like the quality on display, they are one great gameplay game away from really like taking over they
Yeah.
really set a standard. They're really good looking game. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like a fresh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want is like just if Malaysia suddenly starts putting out games, I just want to support them just to like bring more games. I want you to bring more games from those places, right? So we just get more diversity. So
Yeah. That's
Smilegate. That's another one. Now there is mixed. Yeah, South Korea.
Yeah.
Smilegate. Yes.
Okay, so I'm
Mixed history, you know, but yes. So they're out there. They're doing things.
Shout out South Korea.
Yeah.
Spartan 661, great guest for the show. Let's go. Thank you so much for the super chat. And
Smilegate.
be a member. Shab says there's quite a lot of gameplay in Stellar Blade. I've been doing the side quests.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking to check that out. Damn you, PlayStation, we're getting that timed exclusivity. I bet I've got a lot of games to get.
Well, is it timed exclusive? Do they buy the IP? What is the status? Do we
it's
even
not
know?
timed, doesn't it? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
assume
you
it's
know
not
how
time.
you know how it is with PlayStation. The one part of their deal is don't tell nobody about the deal, so you never really know. You know, but yes, it seems to be time because when it was Project Eve, it was coming to Xbox and everything, which means there is Xbox code and there's PlayStation, there's PC code, right? You don't announce it unless you're at a certain level of development that has been at least established. So it may still come to the other platforms, but as of now, Sony kind of scooped them up and, you know,
I mean, at least PC you would expect, right? Because even
that's what I was actually
PlayStation
thinking
is-
about PC.
yeah, at least it'll
We
come
might
to
get a PC release. But
All right, yeah, we'll see.
And get the mods out. Let the modding community deal with it. Come on, bruv.
Yeah, they'll get you your camel toe back. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yes, and then some. Shit. The rise of Fallout is something special, it seems. This game, TV, and TV transforms the fate. Not even fate. Well, actually, I would say it does transform the fate of Fallout 76, which has had a cult following and since its lukewarm response when it first came out, and then the TV series comes out, and then what happens? Freaking Fallout 76 gets 1 million players in a day, and across the Fallout series or Fallout IP, you see 5 million players across all games, and all done through the power of TV. Fallout, bro. We've seen it so many times. We've seen it with so many different games. Asante, is this going to happen more and more now? Surely Microsoft. It couldn't do it for Halo though, because Halo.
Damn it! So I have talked about this conversation, like this specific thing, with 3 different people on 3 different shows, and I was timing when the hate for Halo would come. He was almost about to throw it to me. He wasn't going to do it, and then he did it. The last. Anyway,
Hey, man, I actually liked the show.
I think season 2 is far better than season 1.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised, right? This is a formula that's kind of worked across the board. It started a little bit with The Witcher, right? Some people like it, some people don't, not so much, but it started there.
I think
and then, of course, you had
significant
Arcane.
amount.
I don't know if have you seen Arcane?
Huh? Yeah.
Have you seen Arcane?
Arcane's amazing. Number 1.
Oh my God.
I would
It is
say
the
number
great, like, I hate MOBAs. I do not play
Same.
MOBAs.
I don't
I'm
play
not
MOBAs.
that guy. Forgive me. I'm just not that guy. As soon as I was done watching Arcane, I'm like, you cowards, give me a campaign to play. I need it in my vein. I finished it like 2:00 in the morning. Here's me on Twitter, like freaking tweeting at Riot Games. Where's my game? I need to play something, you know? Same thing with the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Rehabilitated that franchise like that, right? People are like, forget that it used to be called the cautionary tale, right? So I'm not surprised, I'm not surprised. I think the show is excellent, right? And it deserves a lot of all the respect that it's getting. And actually, the good thing about it is Fallout 76 got a lot of crap when it first came out, and rightly so. Even by me, I was like, this is not the Fallout that I want, and since the show came out, and my wife and I finished watching it, she's not a gamer at all. Even she's like, where's season 2? Right? So that tells you that it's a mark of a good game. Since that time, I've jumped into Fallout 76. It's actually pretty good now, right? My first instinct, my first attempt at playing it after the show now there are NPCs, now there are stories, now there's a campaign. Now you're it kind of gives you that same energy after you've seen the show and you're galvanized to play it. So I'm not surprised at all. It's good. I think more people should try it.
Bro, time, man. Like, freaking, I've got Colt Eastwood whispering in my ears. Come on, play it. Come play it. And bro, how much grazing do you want me to do? Because I'm playing Cyberpunk. I got freaking Tales of Kenzera. I've got Prince of Persia downloaded for 2 months. Haven't even touched. I've got freaking what's it called? My brain's got dead. Sekiro to play.
See, all the ones you've mentioned now have beginning, middles, and ends. So I'd do those first because 76 kind of just keeps going, right? Yes, it has a campaign, but then eventually they kind of got you. They got their hooks in you, and you're just going to be playing forever. So I too. I jumped in. I was like, yo, this is great. This will keep giving me that Fallout fix. And then I quickly put it down. I got to go finish those other games that have ends, and then I'll go back to it,
Yeah, well, I might, yeah, maybe you're right. No, Cole, I'm not doing it. I'm just thinking about it, okay? But KSRT makes a good case for it. Hargeet Chani, are you a big Fallout fan? Did you watch the TV series, and will that make you play the game? You don't even watch TV. You just write.
I don't. I have not watched anything, TV, movies, whatever, since the pandemic. I just don't care anymore. So interactive entertainment only. And no, it hasn't made me go back to Fallout or anything. I actually went into Fallout 76 when Colt and Holly and them were playing with Spriggan, and so like I played a little bit more, and that's basically it. I probably should go back. I never actually finished the campaign. It was a little clunky as far as like, at least from what I recall, where the missions, you have to do them individually, even though you're all there together. And it's like, well, what's the point of that? Why can't we all just like do the mission together? That's kind of weird, right? So like when you do like parts of the dialogue and whatever, it's all yourself. And that's kind of weird. And I guess maybe that's just the way it is because it's a Fallout game. I don't know. It's just, I found that a little jarring that it was like, I have to do it. Then I get out of the building, then somebody else goes in and does it. And like, that's just kind of weird. So, but either way, maybe it gets better later on. But yeah, there's a campaign there at least. So it's probably good to at least finish the campaign. I bought that game like way ahead when early, as far as pre-ordering and all that, but then it came out and it was not that great. I'm like, whatever, I'll just leave this alone. But it looks like it's pretty good now, right? So I should probably give it a chance.
And after the show, they basically gave it to everybody for free on PC and on console. So there you go.
Well, I mean, it's in Game Pass anyway, but I bought it. So
true, but if you're not a Game Pass subscriber, you can get it for free too. Yeah.
And by the way, there's perks. There's some Vault 33 stuff if you want to go to the Game Pass perks. It's available for PC and console. So yeah, make sure to go get that.
That's where the smoke for Halo is valid. What happened to all my damn perks for Halo season? The Halo seasons when that was going. That's where I think the smoke is absolutely righteous. They never capitalized on the show in the game. Like it just they gave you like
if you dare connect that show with the actual game, it's like they're trying to like they've gone so far beyond the canon. It's like even in multiplayer, they don't even want to sully it.
Mr. Cheeks, what is it? Master Cheeks, give me some assless chap armor. I'm talking.
Oh, please don't do that.
No, don't do that. I'm kidding.
Do we need that Project Eve suit for Master Chief? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, damn. People will get it. People will get it. People will definitely get it. Asa,
oh my god!
Have you watched the Fallout TV series?
No, not yet. I'm like 5 episodes into the first series of Halo. I'm very slow on the TV. I don't watch very much of it. I also I never get this.
Watch the recap and go to season 2. Watch the recap.
No. I've done 5 episodes and like mostly lows. A few reasonable bits, but mostly lows. No. I don't do the thing people do where they watch a TV series and then they want to play the game from it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that doesn't hit. It doesn't leave me wanting to play the game because the games are already like my priority. I've already played the games as much as I want, and the TV is what I do as a little like when I've got a little bit of spare time, I suppose. Fallout 76 in particular, I've seen a lot of people on Discord discussing that one. I think majority not particularly enjoying it. Some people seem fairly enamored with it for a couple of hours. Generally, I think broadly, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to touch it because that Vault 33 stuff that Hargeet was talking about, the Game Pass perks, is one of them that's like a potion that lets you carry more and some shit like that, which was all it took for me to not touch that game.
He mentioned this last
Fallout
week.
4 VR.
Yeah, it's
sure,
true.
I'll do that soon.
There you go. Yes, I'm actually going to do that soon as well. Fallout 4 VR. Yes.
Have you tried it
But
before?
I'm curious what you guys think about Halo. Why is Halo not picking up from a game perspective?
That is
Have you seen
very good?
Have you seen the seasons? Well,
I mean, I don't
haven't,
watch
Hargeet.
TV.
Yeah,
I don't watch TV.
I
so
will
don't
tell
care.
you. I will tell you the I'm assuming I know that Asa, you haven't watched the whole thing. Gaz, have you seen all of season 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Do you? And obviously no spoilers. Do you agree with me that it took to the very last episode of season 2 to get you where you wanted it to be in the first place? For me, that's how it was. It took to the very last episode of season 2 for me to go, okay, now you're on the right path. Before then, my brain just took it as an Elseworld story. I can enjoy it for what it is, but it's not. It didn't follow not the canon, but it didn't follow the energy that Halo evokes for me, right?
Well,
Much
but
like
you
how
would-
Fallout follows that energy, right? It took to
That's-
episode like the last episode for me to go, okay, now there you go. You know, now
'Cause it's
it's
like-
different.
That's maybe for the
I was gonna
campaign,
give
though. Is
spoilers
that right?
But, huh?
It's not the campaign because if it's not a spoiler to say that they diverge heavily from what you know, right? It's completely different than what you know. There's some elements that are pulled in here and there, but if you go in expecting like The Last of Us 2 following of the story or something like that, you're not getting that. This is a different Master Chief in a different time with a different Cortana and different characters that aren't even in the canon, right? And for a long time, that was a big major criticism. But it seems like towards the end of season 2, they finally are bringing it to a place where the gamers who have that love for that and just so you guys know where I'm coming at with it, I have Halo paraphernalia all over my house. I've read all the books. I'm a big Halo guy, right? It took me to the very last episode to go, okay, now you got my attention.
Right,
Yeah,
but I guess I'm more curious why it's not doing the same thing that the other shows have been doing.
Like, because the masses wouldn't know that.
Right,
Yeah.
and increasing any
so-
level of engagement with the games.
So I would say, at least if you're a gamer, why probably it didn't do that is, if we're talking like The Last of Us, for example, they follow the source material to the T, right? They made sure even the colors were the same from the game to the show, right? So if you happen to love that game, you will love the show because it's really speaking the same language. In the Fallout example, they were lucky, I think, because they have no main protagonist to focus their energy on to make sure they get right. They just have to get the world right and tell their own story, right? Which is exactly what they did. And Jonathan Nolan says that he's been a fan of the Fallout series for a while. He's making other shows, and he was playing Fallout a long time, even before he decided he got a chance to make it. So you can tell he understood the elements of what makes that a good world, right? I think in the Halo example, the problem is, and here's the funny part about all this, that Halo script has been kicking around since even before they decided to make The Last of Us, even before they decided to make Fallout 76. That Halo campaign, that Halo script for making a movie slash TV show has been kicked around and changed in Hollywood for years. It's been the whipping boy for years, even before all these other ones that are now have established themselves, right?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson, exactly. So through the iteration, what they did was they kind of stripped out the main gaming aspect of it from it and went, you know what? This is cute. You guys are good at games. Yeah, that's cute. But to make it a TV show, we need to make these other decisions. And it bit them in the ass, right? And it looks like with season 2 is when they finally went, yeah, these gamers are kind of important. Maybe we bring them in and give them some kind of agency, right? It looks like towards season 2 and they took those criticisms to heart. And now, although it's different, it's still different. They're kind of respecting the source material a bit more. And with that, people are starting to go, okay, yeah, I can see where this is going. It's just, it seems to me that Halo's situation was a factor of timing. They've been kicking around that way before they even respected games. Right, so it's a victim of the time, right? It is X-Men the movies before X-Men and comic book movies showed up, right? Remember how Wolverine used to be way back in the day? Those movies that were garbage, right? and now every comic book movie follows so closely to the source material. It seems like it's that kind of energy. It was before they started respecting gaming content in a real way, so it's kind of a victim of that.
So that's a very interesting point, because then what that suggests is, from this awareness and success of the show and the games, is that we might expect the directors to actually respect the...
Oh, we hope so.
Yeah. I mean,
we hope so.
So it's an
Resident
interesting.
Evil, we were like so desperate for it. That was weird. It was like
Garbage as well.
Yeah, I
Also
liked the
garbage.
laser scene, but I was like,
True. I like the first one. The first one was great.
one was cool,
All
yeah.
the others just kind of jumped the shark for me.
And the Silent Hill, the first one was really good at getting the the siren going. It was pretty scary, man.
Yeah.
I kind of got the vibes a bit. But yeah, I like Arcane. I didn't even play the games. That is like
Top level.
fuck,
Yes.
like what the hell?
Yes.
This is amazing.
So
When
did
is
not-
that season coming
Amazing.
out?
Yes.
So did a lot of people watch the Halo TV stuff, or is it kind
I
of?
think it did really well.
mediocre?
It did monsters for Paramount. It's their biggest, if people are now, it used to be Paramount was for the boomers in the room, right?
Yeah.
It's for your procedurals and Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek.
Star
forgive me.
Trek.
And
Yeah.
now it's Halo has established a beachhead on that network to the point where you see that where now they're really touting it. Like they're really like
So-
they really did a good job.
Like Last of Us worked though, right? Last of Us, the TV
Yeah,
show,
it
did
did.
actually give a
Absolutely.
boost to the game, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
it's just an odd one to me that there's no corresponding anything that of note anyway when it comes to the game of Halo versus
But
the TV show.
and that's a good point.
That's very odd, isn't it?
That may
Well, it's
And the
how
Halo
they
fans
treated
not
it,
gonna
right?
like it.
They didn't follow the source material. They didn't
Well-
follow the source material.
Do you think that could be the fact that maybe Halo as an IP generally has dwindled in its appeal?
It could be, yeah, it could be. As a guy who's read the books, I feel like a lot of the meat and potatoes are more in the books than they are in the show, in the game,
that's a fact.
because the game is just go here, do this, go here, do that. If they spent a bit more time really like in those books, they may have mined more interesting stuff. But again, I like just full disclosure where I come from with it. I can watch schlocky bad content and just put it in my mind for what it is. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be grabbing a pitchfork and going, "Oh, this is terrible." It may not be my, Halo that I love, but I was able to watch all 2 seasons, and I was like, "Yeah, it is all right for what it is." And then towards the end of season 2, when it started getting good, I was like, "Finally!"
Yeah, you can
now
taste
it's
the Halo
now it's getting
flavor.
there. Now you can
Actual-
taste it. Yes.
Yeah.
On
I was
the
there with
uptick,
you. I was
though, like-
enjoying.
I'd also just real quick, like when you talk about these the games getting this big uptick, like Halo probably got something, but you have to consider what they're funneling people to as well. Because like Asante was saying about Arcane and League of Legends, he wanted some League of Legends, but not League of Legends. With Halo,
No,
you
I
can
wanted a
enjoy the
campaign.
TV series. You can go at it fresh, but Halo Infinite's campaign is where you're being funneled, and it's not the same world at that point. So even if you do go and try it, you're not playing something from the series, and big team battle's not going to do it for you if you want to be in that sci-fi universe. So it is there's not much of a
So it was a
correlation between what the
massive
TV
fail.
series and what the game is. But
Yeah, so it was a massive fail to not follow like Master Chief right from the beginning, right? To say, hey, we're going to talk about Reach. We're going to go through the story of Reach.
But they
Right?
okay,
Like
so
that kind of
spoilers.
thing.
They do
No
go through the
spoilers,
story
but
of Reach.
they do touch on certain. They just don't do it in the way that you know it. They do it in a very
They did a
kind
good
of
job, I think,
hodgepodge, different
with
way.
Reach.
I do too. I think as well. I think so as well. But I do suspect that season 1 kind of left a bad taste in your hardcore's
Season
mouths.
one's fucking
So they kind of didn't
like
even give you a chance
Wow.
for season 2. Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Honestly, Hargeet, I know you don't watch this media, but as a Halo guy, as I know you are, you play that campaign, the multiplayer pretty frequently. You should try the show and see what you think.
Do you
If
reckon?
nothing else, but an experiment to see how you
good.
feel.
do you reckon there's Halo fans out
He
there
says
that
no
started
thanks.
with the TV show,
No thanks.
that started with the TV show and go back to the game and they're like, "This isn't my chief. Where's his butt?" And then they turn it off.
Yeah. Where's his help? Like, where's
Where's that deep suit? Come on, damn it.
Where's the? Oh man, yeah. I actually found. Oh yeah, that's spoilers face actually. Oh well, I've actually found elements of like the Halo TV series done really well on the human side of Master Chief, because I think the game or the book version of him is kind of a bit dull, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's sacrilege to a lot of people, but I know it's supposed to be by design, but I'm like, but yeah, well, but it's a good question, Hargeet. When I don't know, we'll see. And the future of Halo and what they do with that franchise is going to be.
They're doing a Gears one, are they not?
They are both live action.
Will they have learned the lesson? I hope they have.
I don't know how. I mean, generally, to me, the Gears story is Locust bad, Gears kind of good. I know it's deeper than that. Like, they could do the Dom
like
story.
An allegory. Well. The what is it? The military national complex. You know how you're a cog in the wheel, hence cogs. You know.
Yes.
They will go more into that realm. But to your point,
the Dom
story, yes. You know, I wonder how they're going to kill Carmine every episode. It's going to be amazing.
That'd be brilliant. They have one. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Well, they have Carmine's brother and all of this, like they did in that.
All the various Carmines. Yes. Many a Carmine. You know.
Victor Alistair, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just give Halo to Nolan and let Kiki Wolfkiv move to another property. Halo on Amazon with good budget and someone that loves the franchise works. And that's the thing, that the people who didn't mostly worked on the Halo series didn't actually care about the lore at all. So I think it'll be stupid. I think they do need to put an end to the Halo series as we know it, the TV series, and have a proper ending. And hopefully with the game, they have something, a real intent to tell a real story that they actually intend to carry forward and not just let it die after your infinite 10-year plan. And I also think Halo's lore and substance is so much. You could do so many different games in the Halo verse.
But see, as with the with the end of season 2, and they'll make a 3, I'm quite excited to see what they do for 3, because it looks one, they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this our way because we know better. They got panned, and then when they got panned, they took the lessons and they kind of retconned it. They fired most of the staff, hired a bunch of new staff. Season two is a completely different writers, different directors. They literally re-scoped the whole thing. They kept certain elements, and then they moved in a better direction. So with people now saying, hey, this is much better, I wonder what season 3 will look like. Right? Will it be the great thing that everybody wants, or will it still just kind of be like, well, this is Hollywood, so y'all gonna have to, we shall see. Right? And it's on the backdrop where Fallout is doing such successful stuff, where The Last of Us 2 has established itself, where game properties are now being taken seriously. Does this move in a proper direction? I'm excited to find out.
So I'm curious if you think they're not doing enough from a content perspective. Like, I think Fallout could use some more stuff. They should have had more there as well, but they have several seasons to go. They can potentially do something to line up with one of the forthcoming seasons. On the Halo side, we don't know what the heck is happening next, which is kind of annoying. But they could go back and say Halo 3 and Halo 4, which were Xbox 360 games. Could they redo those, right? Bring them more modern and say, hey, we're going to redo the graphics, make it more and add them into the Master Chief Collection, just make them a bit more, up to
kind of like the anniversary edition they did. Yeah,
with 1 and 2, right? They up those a bit. Those were Xbox original games, right? So is that a viable thing to do and say, hey, we're bringing the graphics up to, whatever, and here's a chance to play them while season 3 is coming out or whatever of Halo.
So what I will say to you, Hargeet,
something like that.
What I will say to you specifically with Halo, and if you check my receipts there, you check my Achievos, you will see my time played. You will see, short of maybe Destiny 2, which was very odd to me. I didn't think I played Destiny 2 that much. I have played the Master Chief campaign from soup to nuts like countless times, like months and months and months of, like, I have played that campaign through because I was part of the insider program when they were doing the Master Chief collection. So every time they had a new update, I played through the whole thing. Then I played through the whole thing. Then I played through the whole thing so many times, except after Infinite came out, because that grapple hook, man, it broke it. Right? You definitely want that grapple hook now, and when you don't have it, you feel like hands tied behind your
Oh,
back.
I see
You're
what
not
you
playing
mean.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it kind of, so if they were to rekindle it, right? If they were to give us a UE5, let's say they're going to UE, right? Unless they find a way of incorporating the grapple hook, which would then break the levels because it wasn't built for that, right? People probably won't receive it as well as all that. You know what I mean? It's an odd duck there.
I think
even me, who loves that campaign, can't bring myself to playing it without the grapple shot, which I love that thing now. It's part of Halo at this point. They even use that in Halo Season 2. Spoilers, light spoilers.
They do.
So there you go.
It's part of it. It's part of the source now, which is quite interesting that they did that.
Yeah.
Next topic: BlizzCon cancelled. ABK is a failure. No, BlizzCon's cancelled. Does anyone care? They've always done it every year. Is this a bad sign? One of you gents.
How much of a Blizzard fan are you? Any real monster Blizzard fans on this stage?
Acer? Oh, X-fan.
I'm a big Blizzard fan, but I've never attended even digitally BlizzCon. It's a nice event, and it's a shame to see it go, though, because it was always very big on fan feedback and things like that. It was, I don't know, you had to pay loads of money and get stupid digital pets and things, so I don't know, I don't miss it too much. But I don't know that I hear a lot of people saying it's because Blizzard haven't got anything to talk about, but Blizzard have managed to put this show on every year for freaking ages, so I don't think that's necessarily a reasonable excuse for getting rid of it. They're part of Microsoft now. They're part of a different platform. They're part of a different marketing rollout, so I don't know.
So I ask about that because in my experience now, I was going to be an Overwatch fan until they told me the campaign was gone. Then I'm like, get out of here. So I have not, because I love their cutscenes, but they never turned into anything but cutscenes, and I was just like, nope, I need a campaign. They didn't give that to me, so I love their cutscenes. I think their cutscenes are great.
I think they might as well. The weird Overwatch adult scene is just as canon to Overwatch as those stupid cutscenes.
True. I'll give you that. But the reason why I asked that is because I know friends who are not, I wouldn't call them gamers as such, but they are Blizzard people. They are WoW people. I know people who met each other in WoW. They are married now with kids. They still play WoW. Like, I know people who are like tattoos on the arms, Blizzard people. And I need to check with them and see how they feel, because, you know, it's a really big community, right? Like, I take it as a game like other games. There are people who've been paying that $15 or whatever a month for years, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe they have something to say. But I, for one, I'm like, you know, the overlords have come in, and maybe the dollars ain't making sense this year. So yeah, we shall see.
I want to see a lot more from ABK, man. Like, I don't know, like, what the flip. They haven't done anything. They haven't even bought games, which I thought was the bare minimum. Bring the games to Game Pass. They haven't even done that yet. Well, they're just coasting.
To be fair, and this is when I turn to Mr. Well, actually, to be fair, the reason why you don't see them bringing a bunch of games into Game Pass is because they're tied to their Windows Store. And if you look at the ABK history, there's literally one a Call of Duty that released on the Windows Store proper. All the others have to be ported, and that takes time and effort, right? When it came to Bethesda, all of them were on Windows Store day one. They always have been. So you can just kind of, and you're done, right? These guys have to literally, that's right. Because it's not even the PC side. It's just one store that is tied to the games, the console side, as well as the Windows side, right? And if it's ported to one place, then it disseminates to both areas, right? And they don't have this. I think Modern Warfare is the only one that's in the Windows Store. All the others are not, right? So it takes effort to put them there. And plus, and number two, they said there was a mistake putting all the Bethesda games at one shot in the store. So they may drip them out, because people lost the thread, right? Did anybody go and play some of the old Bethesda games? Like, you know, they just kind of got lost. There was 15 games at once, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have marketing beats per thing, and you could do like pretty chunky marketing beats, because we've seen like Modern Warfare 2 got like backward support, online thing, the servers numbers pushed up. Or
I say wait till June. I suspect that if and when they've been working on this for a time now, I suspect just like you saw You saw Diablo drop in there now, and now Diablo's #1 on Xbox. I think you're going to start seeing some drip feeds of that thing. But for those who say there's nothing in there at all, it's because it takes time to get them into the store.
Yeah. And I think one of the cool things they could do is do like the launch lineup towards Call of Duty, right? This is going to be their Call of Duty now, right? And have like the next few months, right? As you said, like June, hey, in July and August, etc. We're going to take those 360 classic CODs, bring them back. They'll be in Game Pass, or you can buy them, whatever you want, but they'll be live. Play those, right? Successive months. And then November, you get Call of Duty, the new one, right? And it launches day and date in Game Pass. They'll be bundled, hardware with the game, etc. Right? I think that's a good way to go to get some of those in. They could bring some of the other games in along with that, but I think that's a good idea, right? It's just like, because if you bring a whole bunch of multiplayer games in at the same time, it'll just get lost in the noise. It is a better idea to say, hey, we're going to have like the month of this game, the month of that game, right? And then give each one some
correction on my part. I just checked. There are 2 Modern Warfares in the Windows Store. One that I own, which is Infinite Warfare, and the other one, which is Modern Warfare Remastered. The only 2 in the Windows Store, right? So in other words, before they were bought, they were like, nah, screw this Windows Store stuff. They never released anything in there. So in order for them to start releasing these games to Game Pass, they all need to be ported into the Windows Store. A lot of effort.
Okay. Well, I'll give them till this June showcase, whatever thing it's called. If they don't show anything with ABK, then I'm gonna murk them. But also, we saw.
I mean, we got Diablo. We did get Diablo, right? So
just give us something, please. Oliver Twist. Just for fuck's sake. Hero.
You got the gas game. Yeah.
Give us some freaking news about new IPs or doing something. They're not even doing the bare minimum at the moment. But let's see. I'm going to stop caring in a bit.
Well, I mean, what were you expecting to happen? Jesus, guys. It's been 4 seconds. Why didn't I get 5 million games already? Like, Jesus.
4 seconds.
Copy paste Windows Store. Send.
Huggy, when are you going to be happy when they reveal something?
Here's the problem. I'm always happy. The problem is you're never happy. That's the problem, yes.
Look at that. That slander is beautiful, man. That's amazing.
I'm always happy, bro.
I guess it's good. That's the benefit of being easily pleased. Give him the bare minimum. He will love it.
I have games galore. I can't even get through my freaking backlog of games. I'm a happy camper.
You're happy. It's fine. It's fine. Be happy. I don't want to come in your way of your happiness. I expected something from ABK. Well, Phil Spencer said we're gonna go and explore. Ask what the teams want to do, and if you're not gonna find out this year, like this showcase event, then.
Well, what do you want to find out? Actually, I'm curious.
You know what the teams want to do. They want to put the games on PS5. I'm just saying.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Is ABK just going to be the COD machine and that's it? No, you're not going to look at StarCraft. You're not going to do something with WoW on consoles. You're not going to go back at their legacy IPs.
I have to
give us Transformers back compact. They said they had the code there. They haven't lost it. Lulu Shake masturbate before she took a golden parachute and pissed off. So many things.
So you expect like they're going to just have new games in 5 months?
No, announce something like. We haven't even got anything.
Vicarious Visions needs to shake the dust off of the Call of Duty salt mines before they can maybe. Do they even exist anymore? They're in the salt mines. You know what I'm saying? And to your point,
prototype.
What do you call it? Hasbro has literally thrown out there. We want the new game in our IP. Like they're out there, right? But still, if they came and they released the game and it was the quality level of, let's say, I don't know, the length of, let's say, 8 to 10 hours, a lot of people would come with the pitchforks. These games take 6-7 years to make. When did they buy them? Last week. The equivalent of. They ain't gonna see it until 2030 or something. You know what I mean?
Bro, we don't even get games on Game Pass because we've got the porting issue. We got Diablo. Okay, so are you saying that if this June we don't hear anything from them, That's okay.
No. We will absolutely hear about COD. That's going to happen because it's going to be their game, right? You're going to hear about the new COD coming this November. Absolutely, you're going to hear about that. You'll probably hear a few games from the back catalog coming into Game Pass. I'd expect to see a few. I think you might even see one or two of the games that are in current development that are coming along for ABK, right? Because Activision Studios have been making games outside of Call of Duty, right? I would expect to see some of those, but don't expect new greenlit games that like Phil went, hey, what do you guys want to make? Oh, you want to make that cool? Let's start looking at that.
I'm just asking
That's going to be 6 years from now. Like, we're not going to see that for 4 years. Like, I want to temper expectations. Like, as it is, I think this is going to be a stellar freaking showcase.
It's the Xbox moniker.
No, people want things that are ridiculous. Right? Like, what do you want from people? I don't like. I think this showcase is already going to be awesome.
As opposed
so
to nothing.
What exactly are you looking for?
I just told you. At least give me some legacy IPs. Give me the Transformers games. You
want the old Transformers games in Game Pass? That's all you're asking for?
Bro, you can't even buy them. You can't play them. The license gone. Lulu Shake Master Figures. We can do them. Give it that. Yep. Or say WoW on consoles. Big deal. So
the Hasbro
against this $80 billion deal, and now we're like, why would you want?
So with the Transformers games, right? You've already heard Hasbro talk about they want a new game. Maybe it's a scenario of let's wait. Let's hold off. Once we have our new game ready to go, we'll give them the 1-2 punch of here's our new game shown off. And oh, by the way, here's the old game, right? A lot of times, the reason why you don't get your back compat is because they have plans. They don't want the back compat to step on that, right? Yeah. That's why I'm pining for the day when I'll get to play Jet Set Radio Future on a modern console instead of emulating it into all of my hardware, right? It's because Sega got a plan. How long will their plan take?
10 decades.
10 decades.
Jet Set Radio Future is not happening. Licensing issues, apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the new one.
Well, they're remaking it. The new. There's a new one.
I can't wait for that. Shout out to Sega for bringing that back. But shout out to
so that's all you want is just the Transformers games. That's it. That's all you're looking for.
I want so much. I want StarCraft revived. I want Starfall Growth. Are they going to do anything with that? I'm going to see what's happening with Prototype. Are they going to
Prototype 1 and 2? Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect to see any of that. I'm just being honest.
But this is what I want. WoW on consoles. Like, you made this big $80 billion deal, and we're not hearing anything for months. And they say they've got porting issues, but I'm like,
now the WoW on consoles. I'm not saying that you'll see it anytime soon, but WoW on consoles, I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening.
That would be a megaton announcement.
Well, but why? Because there's already an unofficial code for WoW on controller support already. There's been for a while. Here's my tinfoil Koofy theory real quick here. Right? How long have you heard Game Pass numbers? Oh, it's 30x million, right?
34 now, right?
You want to goose them numbers? You put WoW on console and you consolidate the WoW people and Game Pass, and overnight it will double. Right. Yeah. And it won't be for the console player, even though it's on console, right? It will be more for, hey, look, we went from 34 million to like 100 overnight. That will eventually happen. But I think it's all a strategic move. It's all about timing and whatnot, right? So it won't be for you, right? It won't be, because let's be honest. If they put WoW on console, would you play it?
Yes.
Really? You would play it?
Especially with the new stuff coming out? I think it might be very interesting.
I don't think a lot of people would play it because WoW is a bunch of fetch quests at its beginning. That's all it is. Man, go get this, come back, bring it back, go get that. Like, that's a lot of that, right?
People will do it. I don't know. I think you'll be surprised.
If they work it,
I don't deny that you'll see it, though. I just don't know about anytime soon.
If they work it into Game Pass, then yes. If they work it into Game Pass,
that is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, I would. Like, I played it way back in the beginning. I just kind of gave up on it. But like, there is new stuff coming. They're going to have it. They're going to have it at the June showcase. They're going to talk about it, especially with BlizzCon going away. We know we're going to be talking about that new DLC, right? The expansion. So if they can announce, say, hey, we're going to release at that time, right, with that new expansion. It's coming to Xbox Series S and X.
It's fucking big.
That'd be freaking crazy. Come on. I don't know if it's viable, right? I don't know what the potential for that is. It might take longer to do it as far as just the coding time to make it happen.
Yeah.
But if they could pull it off, wow, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So right now, WoW numbers are hovering around, what is it, 7.25 million, something like that? Subscribers.
When that expansion hits, it's going to go up.
7.25 million subscribers. So it won't be half of Game Pass, but all of a sudden, about that amount number, if not more, will be part of Game Pass subscribers, right? And the idea of there being let PC players get access to Game Pass, because if they do get access to Game Pass, maybe they now start becoming microtransaction people for other games in that service. Right?
It could work, man. Microsoft needs to shock the system, because this leads me to the next point. Microsoft's financials release, or whatever, their growth or lack thereof. Well, their revenue has gone up by 50 or so %, but that's because of the ABK deal or something. I don't know the actual numbers. Actually, I do have the actual numbers. I'm lying to you. But so these are the numbers. So gaming revenue grew by 51%, including 55 points of net impact from the Activision acquisition. Xbox content and services grew 62%, and that's all basically carried by Activision. But despite that, Xbox hardware revenue declined by 31%. And this is where I'm like, yo, that is a bad number. Thank God for ABK, hey, Acer. Otherwise, the Xbox look like they're in a shitty place. Maybe this is why they're fighting so hard to get the deal done.
I was so glad you went to me straight away with a question about financials. I love financials. Quarterly financials. That's
you love financials. We know this about Acer.
Win with this guy. I can't do anything.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Acer loves financials more than he does VR. Haven't you heard? Come on now.
It's funny. They actually released while I was doing the Xbox Series podcast on Thursday, and it was immediately like, oh, I see these numbers, and before it had all like been disseminated and people had looked into the details, like, well, they look nice on the surface to say it's gone up 61%, but how much of that is just APK? And once you actually get those numbers, suddenly you realize actually everything is stagnant / slightly shrinking. And they're anticipating, Microsoft's own like forecasting is that it's going to continue to shrink. Like the next quarter isn't brilliant either, despite the fact that they do have Hellblade coming out and things are like beginning to pick up in theory in terms of game releases. And at the same time, I don't care. I'm not concerned or panicked about this whatsoever. Microsoft are not suddenly going to make any drastic changes based on these fiscal results. They've only just started integrating ABK. They've only just started putting these things in motion. So there's no kind of sign that they're going to do anything drastic and change course. And current indications are that it's a good course that will lead to a lot of games over the next few years. If things don't take a big turn and a big upswing along those few years, then yeah, they'll do something drastic. But it's like these financial results are just this fairly meaningless. It's fairly early doors, but
yeah, I mean, it's more interesting on the point of thank God for the deal, because a lot of people are like, oh, the deal's the reason why Xbox is going third party and all of that.
The deal was a negative. There was the other interesting slide, if you will. There's a specific slide about the net impact of the ABK acquisition, and it is a loss.
Yep.
So you got some nice percentages in there, but ABK in itself has caused them a lower operating income.
Because of the cost of the acquisition.
So it's not saved them. Well, and the cost of running the studios,
the cost of integration,
adjusted for where the profits are going and all the rest of it, the margins taken on different stores and so forth. It has been a negative. So it hasn't saved their financial results. It's puffed up a few key numbers if you want to present them in a certain way. But actually at the moment, like it's not a brilliant set of numbers, and it's not a massive problem either. There's no knee-jerk reaction at Microsoft headquarters over it or anything like that. So
I don't think that's the case. Absolutely. They've already announced their hardware plans and they're doubling down on that. And Crisis Core in the chat says he loves Microsoft and everyone should really love that corporation. Shout out to Crisis Core in the chat, who really loves Microsoft. Look, Xbox's console revenue being terrible though is something to, that's the thing that's a bad shrinkage there, man. Like, come on, Acer, man. Like, and they're doubling down. That's the one that you're saying they're not fundamentally changing, but that is a cause for concern. Maybe the drastic thing is the thing that they've announced, the mobile thing and all of this shit.
The thing that I see with Microsoft and their console sales shrinking is, most of all, the value proposition hasn't changed since the console launched. What they're offering hasn't changed. So if people are interested in buying an Xbox, they've got this thing. Here's this console, you can buy it. It costs this much, and this is the kind of catalog. Day one, and obviously stock supply issues and all the rest of it. Here we are 3 years later. Normally in a console lifecycle, you're trying to bring the price down to get a newer audience that weren't willing to meet that initial proposition, and or you're trying to release like must-have content that changes the equation in some way. The equation hasn't changed in any meaningful way on Xbox up to this point, really. So it's not super surprising. Like, even if you ignore the fact that they put whatever Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation and stuff, I don't think that's a massive problem right now. But nothing has changed. There's no reason that someone that didn't buy a console day one would have bought one since, really. Not like that's a blanket statement. Obviously, there's going to be people still buying them, but broadly, there's nothing changing. And this is a problem that I'm not like trying to PlayStation like to it and bring them into the same mess, but I think it's actually a massive problem for PlayStation over the next few years as well, because they also cannot bring down the price of their console, and they are more reliant on the console than Microsoft are. So
yeah, and I remember reading something about a 19% at least reduction on all of them. So it's not like it's not affecting the other consoles as well. It is. There is a hit to all of them. The forecast for PlayStation was not met either. Nintendo is going to have problems because they were expecting to release a console this year. They aren't. They're going to be pushing that to next year. So they're going to have a hit as well. And so, like, the expectation of new hardware, PS5 Pro, for instance, is hitting them too, right? They're like, would you want to buy a PS5 when you know there's a Pro coming? Like, you might just hold off, right? So that's going to hit them. And then there's rumors abound about like hardware coming from Xbox as well. About like, is there a new all digital? Is there a new portable? Right. So this stuff is just going to kind of keep happening. Like, on top of that, there were no games. Like, it's like Call of Duty was the last game they released, and it's really just a multi-plat, everybody gets it game anyway, right? So it's really Forza was the last game they put out that was an exclusive to the platform, and right, the next game they're going to have is Hellblade, which is not. I mean, yes, some people seem to be very enamored by it, but I don't know how much that's going to be a system seller.
I agree with you.
Seller, right?
I agree with you. Yes,
I think indie is one of those games that could drive something, right? Because it just has a big name associated with it, right? So you say, "Well, I want to play that. That's cool." But Call of Duty is going to be the big driver, and we'll see what that does, right? This fall, sorry, and we'll find out next year when the actual numbers come out. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of just the way it is. I like it. The beauty is it's Microsoft, right? They've already recognized this, and they have a multi-platform. They've
already diversified their portfolio.
Right? Yes, they said we're going to put on PC for like ever, and like that has been keeping them good for a while. And they also keep some of their big multi-plats, as far as the live service games everywhere, right? They don't care if it's on Nintendo, if it's on PlayStation. They're going to keep getting that revenue. The mobile part of it with King is great. Once these integration costs go away, that profit will start coming in from ABK, right? So they're positioned to be really good. So I'm not worried from that perspective, but they've been telling us the console stuff wasn't going to go that far. My expectation was if they continue to 2027, 2028, they're going to have like 60 million console sales. They're at 30-ish something now, right? And that's probably not even hit that much because they're saying 2026 now. So like 35, 40 million is probably where they're going to end up. Unless they do something drastic, which Call of Duty might be that thing. I don't know, but we'll see. Call of Duty might be that drastic shift, but we'll see. Like, I wasn't expecting them to sell 150 million consoles here, right? So, getting to where they are a little behind to where I expected, but is it that far behind? Not really. So there's a lot of stupidity that did this.
Can I throw like some speculation at this mix real quick, and probably y'all gonna like throw some virtual tomatoes at me. I think they've already telegraphed their moves. They're not doing that anytime soon, but they don't want to be in hardware anymore. Ultimately, Phil has already talked about subsidizing hardware is more difficult now in the world they live in, right? Consoles have always been a means to an end because that's just the way you delivered the content. That is no longer the only way to deliver the content. Right? Like, it to me, it looks like next gen don't expect a subsidized piece of hardware. If they release it,
world, right?
It will cost you what it costs you, and it might not be what you're used to. And then they'll say, guess what? We have all these other avenues for you to get our content. I honestly think that while I'm not saying that they don't care about hardware, but as Sony is leaning on their core competency, right, which is those really like bombastic Hollywood produced games, Microsoft is leaning on their core competency now, which is software and services. Right? Hardware has never really been their core competency. It's been a means to get you in the ecosystem, but now they can just lean on software and keep it moving. Now, obviously, you'll go, well, what about the console players who've been there all the time? They're talking about Xbox everywhere. Doesn't mean that they make all the Xboxes that go everywhere, right? There's a world, and please, the virtual tomatoes don't need to be thrown at me, but there's a world where your Asus ROG Ally now has a set-top box under your TV, and it looks like an Xbox, or your Legion Go is under your TV. They're making partners. And when they do that, just like the Surface brand in their laptops, you may have that if you so choose. It tends to be more expensive than most. It tends to be not the hardware you want because they purposely put the last gen chips in it so that you can look at their partners better. They want their partners to offset the costs for them. And provided that they get that UI element working and all that stuff they're talking about, there's a world you see that where all of a sudden now Dell and all these other hardware companies become how you get your Xbox. And if you don't want that, you can go for their reference design or just stick to your PC. Hashtag get a PC. I see it coming. It's a slow moving. I've said this on your thing. I think I've said super chat.
I don't disagree.
We are graybeards, and the Jetsons are just right there, baby. They're there, and you are no longer the priority.
I don't disagree with that because I think that's kind of where they're heading, anyways, right? So Windows 12 is going to be this merging of both of them anyway, and so the question becomes, what do? Do you partner? Do you keep your own hardware? Which I think they will. I think they will. Like
they will. They'll keep the hardware.
They'll keep hardware. And then they're going to partner and say, oh, you like that 5090? Okay.
Yep.
Sure. Go spend $2,500. We'll give you an Xbox branded device with our partner. Pick one, Lenovo. With our partner, Asus. Who cares? It doesn't matter who it is.
And they handle all the R&D costs.
Who cares?
You don't have to worry about them subsidizing it. They don't have to always be beholden to these numbers that they themselves don't care about in a big way, right? And I know us graybeards who have been from the schoolyard up until now going, my console's better than yours. We're all gonna hate that. But guess what? My son and my daughter play on tablets. They don't have this ridiculous idea of ownership. They don't even care about graphics. They just go do, and they're the ones
it's gonna have to
who
go
Microsoft is gearing towards.
I hate that.
We have to go there anyways because that's where the next gen is going. They're going PC and mobile. And look, Microsoft superpowers, they have Windows. They own it.
Yes.
Might as well take advantage of it.
To be honest, I will say the thing that does actually excite me is Microsoft bringing Steam, Epic game stores to the Xbox consoles.
Exactly.
So how do you subsidize a console if all of a sudden you have other stores in there? Because remember, the model has always been, we eat the costs on the hardware, but then we know you're going to buy from our store because our store is the only option. If our store is no longer the only option, how is it that we give you, and to this very day, the equivalent of a Series S CPU is $350. Retail, just the CPU. Now, obviously, they buy it at scale and all that extra, but still, they are eating a lot of cost for you to get a console. That's cost they don't need to spend when you can buy it on your PC. You play it on your PC, play it on a comparable TV, play it by right? They don't want to be in that giving away money scenario anymore. Now, PlayStation, Nintendo, they have no other way of diversifying their portfolio, so it's in their best interest to keep playing that game. Microsoft does not need to play that game anymore. The means to an end. Now the console is just a marketing term. They're all PCs. So why bother play the game?
Right. So unfortunately, we both have to jump.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because my seeds will be knocking on the door any moment.
Okay. Yeah. Let me wrap it up on that front. Actually, sorry, the time has gone on this like mad. We've had a good chat. Well, I don't know, the hardware, like whatever. I think look, all I'll say is this: that the smart play is with you're a player in the PC space. I would love to see. We know that the market is shifting as well. The kids, we've said so many times, build PCs, build PCs, build PCs. But this point about this partnerships with third parties, actually weird, like these companies might be the way forward, really. I don't know.
One day you wake up and your ROG Ally looks like an Xbox. Why are you complaining? All your achievements are there, your saves are there. It all just looks like an Xbox. Why do you want them to make the hardware if these other devices that you might already own or other options are available to you, and they can give you something that Microsoft doesn't really want to
Xbox
anymore?
on PlayStation.
I don't know if they'll allow it, but
I don't know about that. But
Xbox, it would be, I mean, like literally be the Xbox store, right, on PlayStation.
Yeah.
If they want to do it, I don't know if they'd want to do it, but
mark my words,
I don't think
Microsoft
PlayStation want to
is
do it,
turning
but-
competitors into partners. That's what they're
Yeah.
doing. Competitors into partners. There's a world where you're like crazy. Oh, how the hell would you ever find a PlayStation game on Xbox? Yeah, rumor is they're talking about certain PlayStation games on Xbox now. Competitors into partners.
I don't know about the hell. Well, it would be nice to see. I think the industry is changing, and I will maintain that there will be a multiplayer PlayStation first-party game that's not from Bungie that will be on Xbox. But
Yeah.
well, it remains to be seen. For Satya Nadella this week also said that, like, basically announcing the fact that, yeah, it's really nice, and they're gonna bring more games to places with more devices. Hellblade 2 will be on PlayStation 5 next year. I guarantee it. Mark my words.
Let's do a knees bet. I say it's not going to, but okay.
Okay,
Not doing it.
I say Hellblade 2 is
2.
coming to PlayStation.
There will be others, but Hellblade 2, no.
Hellblade 2 is coming to PlayStation. That's the bet. If it comes, knees. Knees
You heard
happening.
hear it first. I'll be over here like, what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen?
You've been standing up for a while as well.
Oh yeah, no worries, bro.
Oh, well done, man. And sorry to keep you waiting for so long. We're going to wrap it up, chat. Thank you so much, everyone. Before we do, we're going to do outro time. Huggy, tell the people about your book.
yes,
And
go buy
what
my
to do.
book at shop.chani.us. I can't get the freaking pointer right. Anyways, right there. Shop.chani.us. You can buy a signed copy if you want, or just buy the book itself. The links are in that same page, so go for it. There's some merch as well if you want to buy it. Yeah, and then I'm going to be right in a minute going over to Retri's Aim Down Sights podcast. So catch me there. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow on Fonz's channel.
Right now.
I don't for you. You've had a long day as well. Okay, Santi,
Yep.
thank you so much, brother, for joining us on the show. I hope you had a great time, and tell the people what's next.
First and foremost, I say thank you. Thank y'all so much for having me. I always enjoy being on this show, chatting with y'all. We don't always agree on everything, but I enjoy the fact that we can have these great conversations, and that's where it needs to be, right? There's no need to be sniping people on them damn Twitters and whatnot. No. So me, I tend to find myself on you can find me actually at this point Monday night. I will be myself and Mr. John Wolf. We will be doing some more PC type chatter. We on Monday nights we do the Gamers Playground. We talk about handhelds, talk about how to dip your toe into the PC waters, as it were. I'm actually building a new PC right now. You know, set top box under the TV. Trying to see if I can mimic console like. So that's my little mini project I'm doing these days. But yes, come check me out there Monday nights Eastern 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on Saturdays. Myself, Mr. Everborn Saga, we do the Gaming Circle podcast, talk standard games, get a little slanderous. Maybe every once in a while we have some grown folk talk, racism and all this other stuff, other isms that are out there. We like to talk about it on that show too. But
great,
sir, it's always a pleasure being here. Asa, you and I need to connect on some VR stuff because nobody will pay attention and nobody will watch, but I enjoy the hell out of it, and so will you, and that's enough. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. But thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, bro. It's been absolute pleasure as well. Thank you, everyone in chat. Smash the like button. Sorry, King Thrash and Ranting Greek Gamer, you came too late, but hopefully we'll see you earlier in the show as well. Asa, outro time. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm on Gaming Arcadia most days of the week. That's it. Okay, Santi, thank you obviously for coming along. It was real good to listen to you having those talks.
I had your brother Deadly Headley on the show today. It was a great conversation. He was on the show on GCP this morning. So there you go.
Deadly. Yeah, man. And yeah, Septic Sauce. Check it out. Don't check it out. You'll check it out. See you next time. Smash the like button. And thank you for listening on Spotify and all these places. Bye.